Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blazin' Bob, and I am joined by the lovely Melarina, aka Mel. How you doing?
Hello. I'm good. It's not Friday, so much better than when Bob usually puts the shows on, you know?
Okay. Well, I haven't put a show on a Friday in a long time. I've been trying for you.
Well, yeah, thanks.
See, it just never gets noticed when you start doing something good. They always still remember all the bad. We're also, for the first time on the show, joined by the kind and wonderful Denakina. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for coming on. And we're also joined by the spicy and a little bit wild Baptized. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Bit tired, but happy to be here.
Happy to have you. And I think you and Mel have the exact same chair. I'm looking at this now. Oh my God.
Oh, we do.
You are like,
That's hilarious.
this is fate. This is fate right here.
No, I love it. It's the best chair I've had. It's a bit annoying being pink just because you have to be like really careful not to spill anything on it. But minus that, it's great.
Yeah.
Well, I read, and I don't know if it's true, I read that the fabric is like treated in a way like that, like liquids are supposed to just kind of roll right off of it rather than sink in.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
tested.
My dad has one. He hasn't tried it either. Nobody wants to.
I'd rather not find out. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like just pour some red wine on it. Easy.
Yeah. See how it goes.
And we are joined by the nicest man alive, Classic Go. How you doing? Welcome back.
You're too kind, bro. Thank you for having me.
Yep, no problem. Thank you for coming. Yeah, the last time Go was on, me and Josh and Scotty just would not let anybody else talk. So Track fought his way in there to talk, but yeah, it was basically me, Josh, and Scotty just yelling and going on. Like, it could have been the start of a joke. And American, an Aussie, and a Brit walk into a bar, I also
we didn't have Mel there.
Well, and
Mel there to kind of like keep you guys in line.
Definitely. And
always chaos.
I think we all would have been just on better behavior if you were there, but whatever.
I wasn't.
But yeah, I did their accents, and I just so missed out. They made fun of me for both of them, and rightfully so. I should have made them do an American accent. Lost opportunities.
Opportunity, yeah.
All right. Well, I'd like to start out the show by thanking our tank patrons in Thick Lizzie, Croxford, Braxton, Turtle Whale, and I'd also like to give a big thanks to our entire audience across audio and YouTube. Over the last month, we have hit in under the top 50 on iTunes 3 times in the US, the highest mark 46, and we've hit number 1 in both Denmark, Sweden. We've hit number 3 in Australia. We've hit number 18 in Canada, and this is out of all gaming podcasts. You guys rule. Thank you for that. YouTube's growing too. You guys are giving comments. Thank you, all of you, for helping us grow and getting the word out. I'd like to remind everybody we stream the show live on Twitch, twitch.tv/BlazinBob. That's BlazinBob. We have our Discord server. It's starting to get a little popping, but we need more conversation and stuff going on in there. So join us at warcraftreloaded.com/Discord, link in the description. With the new phase coming out, we implore you to check out Rested XP if you haven't tried it. It is free 1 to to level 22. You should definitely check it out. It is a great service, and I can't say more good things about it. Plus, the runes are all free right now, so at the very least, you should check it out. If you end up buying one of the later versions, please use code RELOADED or use the link in the description to go to the place to buy it. All right, we'll start the episode off with voicemails. We got a few of them this week. The number for that is 816-866-1066 or speakpipe.com/Warcraft Reloaded. Then we're going to just kind of talk about what we've been doing. Well, first, we'll do the comment of the week first, and then we'll do what we've been doing, and then we'll do the news, and then at the end, we're going to talk about to delay or not delay. That is the question. Then we're talking about the 10-man Gnomeregan raid. It's also news that it's 10-man. Everybody seemed to already know that, unfortunately, but I was holding out for something more, but whatever. And yeah, and then if we have time, we have an email that we'll answer at the end, but if not, we'll save that for next week. Whew, I got it all out. Man.
Packed show,
Good
yeah.
job.
I know. Actually, let's do the comment of the week first. You want to do that?
You
Yeah.
already set the agenda, and then you just
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it seems to fit better. And this week, I'll let our guest pick out the comment of the week, Dana Kina, and she was involved in the run from hell a couple weeks ago. So I was going to let her do the comment of the week if she wants, and then, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, which one did I pick?
And
I
it's-
remember which
It
one I
is
picked.
okay to roast me as a leader, but I'd appreciate it if you'd say how I've possibly improved over the couple weeks.
Okay. So this comment actually comes from XX Sutherland 2 days ago. He said, people are doing 5-hour BFDs, ? LOL. And as a matter of fact, yes, we did. It was not on the very first run either. This was just not even 2 weeks ago. To be fair,
We've done 2 runs since that run. So it was like a week ago or so.
To be fair, the majority of the time spent was trying to figure out who could replace people that had left. And we were running with like the freshest of 60s. So including me on my like little pathetic warrior. Okay. Like, so it wasn't like, all, fully bisque characters that were just, really not performing well. It was we were under geared, under consumed, under prepared, I think, and maybe some drinks were involved. I don't know.
Okay, definitely. I ended up going back and getting consumes for everybody so we could get past. Oh man, we
Yeah.
barely made it to at the very end. Oof.
Yeah, it was. I may or may not be sending Bob a bill from the therapist for the PTSD that I have, but it's okay. We have, in fact, gone ahead and cleared twice now.
in under 5 hours.
In way under 5 hours, like 4 hours and 58 minutes. No.
Yeah. We're really cutting back on our time.
Yeah, no, like 35 minutes, something like that. We're really good. It was just, yeah, that was a run of runs, but I thought it was quite interesting that people were shocked because it happens, like I don't know.
It does.
It's just most people give
people
up.
would give
Yeah,
up.
most people aren't.
Yeah.
We had tenacity. Like most
Not
people
sure
just.
that was the right decision to keep going, but you did.
Yeah, people definitely come into my chat now and they're like, "Oh, are you doing a Bob GDKP like,
Marathon?
Hogger GDKP?" Or
Well, what's crazy
that's
is
going to be about as long.
so that spurred an idea for me, like after that run, and so I was just like, well, I'm just gonna become a raid leader in Swamp and just run the run inside Swamp, and then if we get pugs, at least we know, they're probably good pugs, right? And so that's worked out good. We have a team built now that looks pretty freaking good. So I'm kind of
it's really strong.
excited going forward. Yeah, so it'd be pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and listen to that first voicemail.
Hey, Warcraft Reloaded team, Blaze and Bob, Mel, and whoever the guests are this week. I'm Serotonin from the Crusader Strike NA, and I absolutely love the podcast. I look forward to it each week and have been loving the show, especially with Hardcore and Sod. I think Sod's been everything I've hoped it would be and been absolutely loving it. Looking forward to phase 2. My question, or more so thought experiment, is putting aside whether you or your guests agree with it or not, I would love to hear creative ideas you all have that would promote faction diversity. We have debated ad nauseum about whether to bring shaman or paladin to the corresponding factions. But let's put that aside and let's hear about some more wacky or fun ideas that you and your guests have that would promote faction diversity that Blizzard could implement or players could implement. Looking forward to hearing from you and your guests. Thank you.
I've been thinking about this one since yesterday when I heard it, and I got nothing.
I mean, one thing that I liked in Classic Era, at least, was the PvP gear had a different skin, whether you were Horde or Alliance. So if it was the same thing for like BFD gear, name it the same, because the different naming is
it's annoying.
Terrible in Wrath. But a different skin on it would be cool, I think.
That's an actually really good one. I don't know.
Yeah, it is a tough question.
It is it's a really tough one, and I think you gotta I feel like you go with like what you're onto, go like aesthetics, like rather than racials and stuff, because we've seen how racials and different things can just kind of become actually meta, and become the reason that you choose certain classes and certain factions. So something visual probably is better. I don't know. Mel? Denny?
Is it just talking about how to make the factions different so that they don't
And make
they're
them
not
feel different, yeah, I think.
I mean, I don't think a different look on gear is going to make you feel different. I mean, I feel different because I'm a giant freaking Tauren on my druid and it's horrible. But I mean, I don't know.
Like maybe if there were more faction specific goals, I don't know, like if you were trying to like build up your city or something, you know what I mean? Like if you could visually see something like let's say like a major like a faction city was not fully built upon like release and you were working towards like building it up, that would kind of like similar to like the garrison style, like I think that would be something that might allow for, your own, like you know that you're working towards a goal, you're seeing it like come to fruition as you progress, but obviously, and that would scale like it would have to scale based off of like the percentage of the player base instead of just like that is involved in building it, as opposed to just going ahead and like, well, you need all these resources, or whatever it is, or it should be like involving like completing quests or killing world leaders, like doing things like that to make it, in my opinion, that would be something that would like make it feel different depending on which faction you're on. Because if you just do like only quests or only, like changing the skins, like that's not really, I don't think that's enough. I think
they already look different. Right.
Yeah, like the zones are almost completely different. Obviously, like there's themes throughout, the beginning zones and even just like, even the dungeons and things like that are inside each like Horde or Alliance respective area. But I think it would have to be something where you would build up, like you would have to like create something as a faction as opposed to, that way, I don't know, like your leader gets stronger the more involvement there is on each, side and things like that. I don't know. There would have to be events that get unlocked that way, like different I don't know.
It's tough.
Yeah, because there's not a lot. You don't want to change too much of the game either, right? Like, we don't want it to be a completely new thing. We want to keep like the classic feel, but that would be something that could be taken into consideration. Like,
I don't know. I do like the different skins idea because that was cool on the
Thanks, Bob.
Horde, like the PvP gear, and it made sense too. Like it. So, can you imagine a Tauren in the? I don't know. All right. Well, I don't know. I have nothing. Like I got nothing. Bap, do you have anything?
When when I first heard the voice message, I thought it was actually asking about like faction diversity outside of the character locks already created, so how to get more people playing Horde and Alliance and get them even more balanced. In terms of, I guess, differentiation between the factions, I got nothing. Same vote as you.
Well, why don't you guys? I mean, comments right into us. Send a voicemail. Like I'm sorry that I feel like we kind of failed you on this
You
one.
really failed that one. Yeah.
And I feel like I'm trying to think of a guest I could have had on. Like Yip maybe could have helped me with that. Like pretty good. Like somebody who knows the lore really good could probably come up with something good. But yeah,
maybe we just like completely misunderstood the question too. He's probably going to send a voicemail back next week and be like,
idiots.
"Okay, that wasn't it."
Well, better luck next time.
We tried.
Hi there. I've been really enjoying the podcast lately. Wanted to shoot a call in really quick and just say I think you guys have an awesome opportunity to be sort of a player and community feedback vector, and I think y'all are doing a really great job. The only thing that's been really scaring me is there's a huge amount of overreach when y'all are talking about some of these subjects, and I do believe when it comes to Blizzard addressing some of these things, they need more straightforward approaches. I mean, when people talk about things like dual spec, I think that's kind of widely considered something to be looked into for Season of Discovery. But when you start talking about having 6 specs for every version of content, that gets a little muddled. Same with BG queuing. You know, we can't have 5 different versions of the queue system. I think limiting it to a party of 5 is the approach there, you know. Paladins and shamans, I don't think reworking the cosmetic class fantasy to fit effect.
Here, he's kind of going through a few things. So let me stop it here. Just to let anybody who doesn't know, what he's referring to about the 6 specs is my crazy pie in the sky idea of not having dual spec, but having 4 specs. One, they just become active when you're an open world, raid, dungeon, BG. And I just thought like you could go and respec any of those, but they just change when you go into that environment. And then you don't have people having a DPS and a heal spec so that they can swap during the dungeon. But I think a lot of people do like to do that. Let's be straight. I don't think anybody but me has the harebrained ideas, and I wouldn't worry. Nobody takes me that seriously. So I think the rest of the guests, you know, are normally, you know, aren't really doing the pie in the sky stuff. So, but that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just fun to, you know, get creative and be like, what could we do? And then we usually end it with, that'll never happen. You know, like we're realistic. We know that that's not an option, but it's fun to talk about sometimes.
Can't keep a person from dreaming.
With BG queuing, you know, we can't have 5 different versions of the queue system. I think limiting it to a party of 5 is the approach there, you know.
And that one I want to hit on because I've heard this discussed on different podcasts, different YouTube videos. And I kind of want to clear something up that I don't think a lot of people remember, or maybe they didn't even know that it happened. But this was all tried in TBC. They made it so if you were a group of over 5, it would try to find you a pre-made group. Nobody was pre-mating because of that. As So you would never get a group. So all we did, and this even worked in Arathi Basin, we had 3 groups of 5. We queued all at the same time. The majority of the time, the 3 groups popped at the same time. We went in, we were all on the same team. Every great once in a while, because you'll remember this is also when they changed it to where Horde could go against Horde, Alliance could go against Alliance. And sometimes one of the groups would be on the opposite team, which was really fun because you got to kill your buddies. But either way,
we were getting Happy Meals, remember?
Yeah.
On Alliance?
The Happy Meals. Yep. And this was
Yeah.
so this was all tried and it did not work. So it's an extremely hard problem. The only way that and even if you did solo queue only, what would happen? There would be a Discord server. There would be 30 to 40 people queuing at the same time. It would pop. They would go in. Then the 10 that got on the same team would drop to a voice channel, and then the other 30 would queue once. Queue again, and you just keep. That's how they did in original vanilla. That's how we did Alterac Valley queuing. So, yeah, I don't see a possible way to fix this without rated BGs, and that give more than just a normal one, but. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Because there's been a lot of people asking for it, and I think they've tried all of the stuff that everybody suggests before. So
I think the only thing it does is it does really eliminate. It makes the effort level a little bit higher to get a full pre-made going, right? That being said, I think the classic community is gonna find a way to, exploit whatever system is put into place. It's just, I don't know how different it would be than what we already have, I guess.
I just finished getting Exalted, and I solo queued
Congrats.
at least half of it. I got a lot of rep from Ashenvale, but I was solo queuing, and I'd run against pre-mades. I lost to a lot of them, but the feeling of a pug winning versus a pre-made is so fucking good. And that's what happened on my last game to get like 999 out of 1,000 of Exalted was against a pre-made, and we came back 0-2 and like 3-capped and reverse swept them. And I was like, that's a way to fucking send it off.
That's awesome.
I loved it. So
you're like, never
I'm
doing
not
it
going
again.
in there.
Yeah. It was fine for me. I would get frustrated if I would queue into a pre-made 8 games in a row. It'd get a little frustrating, but I would just find other ways to make the games exciting. I would try to kill one player, so I made at least one person lose the world buffs. And I'm like, you have to go in the next game as a loser with no world buffs. I hope they kick you from the pre-made. But yeah, I think the queue's fine. If no need to change it for me. Even continuing on to Arathi Basin in phase 2, just if people want to pre-made queue 5 or 15 people, let them do it. Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I don't think there is much incentive to change it because people are always going to find a way. There's always something that's going to cause people to find any sort of exploit. Like you said, we were using Discord servers in vanilla, or in classic, when classic Arrow was released, we were doing that to, queue up for the 40-man AV content. You just drop down into another channel and you're done. There's also something really satisfying about being able to gather some friends together. If you want to queue, for hours and that you have the best chance of winning when you're in a pre-made and you can get in there, that's awesome. I think the biggest drawback to that is unless you have a dedicated group and you're not a healer or flag carrier, you know what I mean? You're probably going to have a little bit more trouble finding you're into a group. So that kind of can be problematic, I guess, for some people. But I mean, I don't think there's really an incentive to change it because the things that they could implement are outside of the rated BGs, which I I don't know, there still needs to be some level of like casual gaming associated with it, like the ability to casual game, the ability to go hard. Like the game needs to kind of cover all aspects of it, and I think it, you know, it does that kind of well already. So,
what do you think, Beth?
I mean, I haven't PvP'd properly since like classic Blackwing Lair when I attempted to rank 11, and then I decided that I'm done and I'm never doing it again. But I don't really see a need to put any cap on pre-mades. I mean, I solo queued a lot, and I also did pre-mades a bunch, and I think I was solo queuing a lot at first, and I was losing a lot of pre-mades, and my mindset for this game has always been like, if you can't beat them, join them. So like if I'm unhappy with the amount of pre-mades and I feel crap about that because I'm solo queuing, I'm just going to find a pre-made to join and not complain about it. I know Dennis said that sometimes it can be hard depending on what you're playing to find that group and to find a good group, but I'm a filthy casual. I just enjoy playing with friends. I don't care if we're winning or losing or if the pre-made's min-maxing. So yeah, I don't see a need to change anything.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these pre-mades, you see them come in, you're like, oh no. But look at the comps. I mean, if the comp isn't like stacked correctly, you're probably looking at a trade chat pre-made. And these are the types that will go, and as soon as they lose once, six of the members leave. When I was doing them early on, but I stopped because every time I jumped in one, I'm like, what's the Discord? And they're like, oh, we don't need Discord. And I'm like, well, then this isn't a pre-made. Like, if we're not calling targets and like, that's what makes a pre-made good is target focus. Like that's the basic of like how to win. You know, there's definitely very high end strategies, but lots of times you'll beat these guys. And I'm guilty of last night. We put 1-2 together. I'm like, all right, well, I put 1-2 together with only black smoke. And I was trying to talk him into it at the start. I was like, all right, guys, if we don't stomp them, we're just going to let them win and move on, right? And everybody's like, Bob, you are such a whip, blah, blah, blah. I was like, fine, I'll fight. And then I had the blast. I mean, we had games that were 30, 40 minutes long, but we ended up only losing one. We went up against mostly pre-mades that were not good. And they were not, they were not organized. They were splitting up. And so I think you'll be surprised. But the problem is everyone on your team has to buy into that too, which is hard with everybody thinking, oh, it's a pre-med, we lost, and you're going to have 3 people in your pug give up from the start.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to run, make the motions, but they give up.
Yeah. Yeah, because they'll be okay with getting farmed in the middle or whatever. And for some people, that's worth it. Maybe they're just there to press buttons and relieve stress, which is fine, But obviously, like get killed, whatever. Like sometimes, yeah, you're just like autopilot, or you have people who will, stay dead outside of the graveyard, or whatever, like instead of getting rezzed, or sit in the flag room, or you have no idea what people are thinking. And it is nice when you go to face a pre-made and, you end up beating them. It doesn't happen often all the time in a pub, but you basically have about the same, I don't know, to me, the opportunity to just play the game is enough, like to be able to queue up, like getting farmed at the GUI is not fun, and neither is just farming people at the GUI, right? Like it happens. It's just, I like the back and forth, but it is nice, like if you do queue as a pre-made and you've already been solo queuing and you've been getting farmed, and then you're like, wow, we're killing people at the GUI. You're like, all right, this isn't so bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's give and take. So.
Yep. And I think really, I could be wrong, but I think really the reason pugs don't beat pre-mades a lot of the time is either because they got unlucky and didn't get enough healers, and because they just give up from like a handful gives up from the start, and then you just can't win at that point. And that's the part that's a bummer. And I don't know how to fix that but I'm trying to help by telling you can do it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times solo queuing we would not have a healer on our team, and we'd face the pre-made with 3 priests, like 2 pallies, a shaman. It's like, okay, how many of those are healers? At least 3. Like,
Right.
yeah, it felt bad. Like, what doesn't make sense to me is how much they've increased the rep you gain from the Ashenvale event, but they haven't increased any of the rep that you get from Warsong.
Yeah,
So
I
if
know.
you lose, 1 token is worth like 33 rep. So you go in there, you get crushed by a pre-made. 10, 15 minutes, you've earned 33 rep for that time. And
Well,
that's
if
what feels bad.
That's only if you weren't able to get any killing blows at all. Which there have been games like that. Yeah, there have been games. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they increase the rep you get, the Warsong rep per token, would that alleviate people's worry of
Or
facing pre-mades? I don't know.
Or even just increasing, like, there's, like, you'll always get a base amount if you finish the game or something like that. Like, just,
Yeah.
like, basically, like, a Warsong weekend all the time. Like, that would be nice, because it is very discouraging when you could, because sometimes you don't get farmed by a pre-made in 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it's 35, 45 minutes, just because you start out wanting to fight. You start out trying to go ahead and, like, do well, and that, you know, you might have somebody turtling or whatever, and then you end up just like wasting. That's a lot of time, because it's the queue time, it's if you're it's everything. It's bad. 33 rep, and if you don't get any kills, sad.
Yeah, no flag caps, nothing. It feels so bad.
Yeah, I feel like, though, if they just increase the rep that you got for the tokens, I feel like the meta would become lose quickly, right?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't get those games where you try to fight back, because it just wouldn't be worth it, right?
Yeah,
Right now,
that's
the
true.
differentiation between how much rep you get if you win versus how much rep you get if you lose motivates people a little bit more to fight it out and try to win. Whereas it was kind of like AV, when you just rush the last boss, like, win or lose, as long as it was a quick game, you kind of just moved on and went to the next one. That's not fun. Like, that would just stop people from fighting against pre-mades, I think.
Yeah. And as we go on, the pre-mades are going to roll to the BG of the week. And that's just kind of how it always has gone. And you could either get in a pre-made for that time, or you could do a different BG at that time, you know? So, but okay, well, what's the rest of this?
Paladins and shamans, I don't think reworking the cosmetic class fantasy to fit a faction is really a doable thing. But I do think giving people a heads up and a warning that, you know, maybe your paladin is going to be forced alliance, maybe your shaman is going to be forced horde. I think that's a much more approachable way to handle that. Also, the thing I haven't really heard anybody mentioning is resistances and immunities. I mean, with the Gnomeregan discussion, I've heard a little bit about bleeds, but as a shadow priest, you know, I'm a little concerned that my Void Plague and Devouring Plague are going to be totally dead for another phase. Anyways, y'all have a great one. Appreciate the podcast.
Anybody want to talk about, I mean, resistances and stuff are a little weird. Like, it's really weird to go and fight that first boss as a rogue and have bleeds and nature. He's immune to both bleeds and nature damage, so poisons and bleeds don't work. And it's just like, this is so weird. But they can really change up who rocks in a fight by having a more diverse resists across bosses. You know, like, I don't know what it is now. I think usually a boss has like the same resists, like
a base resist.
Yeah, against all of them, and then sometimes they're immune. But why not have some that are more vulnerable to certain ones, and then those classes shine when you go up against them? I mean, that's kind of a neat thing to think about for the new raids they might bring in. But as far as Gnomer, I'm scared to death as a rogue.
Well, I think the problem with Gnomer is that all of the bosses have certain, like, the same resists, right? Like, isn't it
Yeah,
all
it'll
of the
force
bosses
you to
can't bleed?
respec, basically, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I agree. It would be a bummer if there was one raid and that raid didn't allow for certain classes to go
Let's talk
do
Molten
it.
Cord Fire Mage.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, it
Fair.
sounds like Melee is going to be the ones that have an issue with Nomer, and I'm all for that because they're crushing
Yeah,
it
that's
right now in phase 1. Let them struggle for phase 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I hate
And
resist overall. Like, even in PvP, I can't tell you how many times a hunter's pet will resist a hibernate, and then it's like, okay, well, I had one chance to kill the hunter. Now that's gone. And on boss fights, getting a partial resist, I hate it. Seeing miss, like, I hate not being able to get hit capped. I know it's classic era. There's 1% chance to miss all the time if you stack as much hit as possible. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Bad vanilla friction. Get it out of here.
I really think he's onto something huge here, though, because what I've been talking about with class balance is like I'm scared if they make ranged really good, like because PvP then all of a sudden is nuts. Like I still don't think Hunter is in the right spot. I feel like range should do less damage, but in PvP. But in PvE, if you change up armor values and resistance values, then you can really change the way classes perform and have, this could be a raid where casters perform great, but then we don't change anything on the PvP side. So I think this guy might be onto something. I don't know. Bap, you got anything?
I mean, I agree with Go overall, like, not to be team no changes or anything, but I think Melee have had their moment. I've been playing a lock for the first phase of SOD, and I'm ready to be a bit higher on the meter, hopefully. I mean, keep
Well,
in
you've
mind,
had bad luck with gear, though, too.
Yeah. I mean, I played a demo lock all of Wrath, so I've never really seen myself at the top of the meter minus the first phase or two, and it's never mattered to me because for me, I want to play the best I can for my class, and when I look at how I'm doing, I compare myself to other people playing the same class as me. So going into Gnomeregan as a warrior or rogue, I'd just be trying to compare myself to other warriors or rogues if that's what I chose to play, and realize that this isn't the raid for me, but my time will come again soon.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob, I hate nerfs, so I would counter argue, give vulnerability to magic schools or reduce the armor value so that people do more damage rather than see lower numbers.
Well, I mean, isn't that what I was saying? Like, drop
You were saying
drop resists like one on certain bosses, and then so that like Frost Mage looks awesome here on this boss, Shadow looks awesome here, Nature looks awesome here, and then up armor and bring down melee. So like,
but it would still be normal damage. Like if you reduce the resistance, it would then be normal damage, like what you're seeing outside of the raid.
okay,
So I'm saying buff it, make it vulnerable to arcane damage. So if I saw a 500 Star Surge crit out in the open world, I would see 600 Star Surge crit in the raid.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like I don't really know the resistances of bosses. I was just saying, yeah, if you give them the like a bonus. Like, we're on the same page. I think I'm just explaining it poorly. All right. Well, that was a good voicemail. Let's play the next one.
Going on, Blazing Bob, Mel, and Cass, Eddie is sick. It is Odonis here. So I heard you say that you can trade Wrath Gold for Classic Gold, and that's actually against Blizzard's terms of service. You'll get banned for that. Just wanted to point that out because I made a 60 rogue like in Wrath when we had ICC on farm just to like level them up, and I did that, and I got my account banned for like 3 days for technically buying gold. But anyways,
okay, I got this. I got this voicemail, and dude, you gave me like I appreciate it. You gave me a little bit of a panic attack that I had like given wrong info and maybe screwed over people. And so I went and asked, and this is straight up true. It is not technically to trade gold across the different expansions and the different like World of Warcraft games. It is not legal, nor is it illegal. It's not encouraged. It is a gray area, but as long as you involve no real life money, it is not technically illegal, but it is a gray area. My guess for why you got a ban is because some automated system saw your account get a lot of gold fast. That's my guess. I don't know. But I will say that after finding out that it's a completely gray area, I was planning on maybe doing it. I'm not going to now. And I don't suggest you guys do either. So thank you for sending that in, because I thought it was completely accepted. I did not know it was a gray thing. So do it at your own risk.
When you say trade gold from Wrath to Sod, you mean like I would trade you gold on Benediction on Wrath, and then we would log on to our Sod characters, and you would trade me gold on Sod.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's usually at a different exchange rate, and people hire like brokers to do it for them so that they don't get scammed, because Blizzard gives you, but then you give you the broker a cut too, like so. But people can like get scammed by it a lot too. So, and you're not getting any protection from Blizzard if that happens. So I don't like, if I knew somebody, I would trade like a friend, but I'm not going to go through and try it.
Yeah, that's a risky thing, no matter what you're trading, because it's not just gold. It could be items or whatever, like a cross faction or doing anything. Like there's always a risk involved, and it's probably better to avoid it if you can, unless you know somebody and trust them. So.
And do we need Golden Sod? I saw a great video just before the pod from Frostodamus.
Frostimus, yeah.
Yeah, and dude, you don't really need gold. Like, I was like, I have a ton of gold now, and like I was like, why do I have so much gold?
Who doesn't have to buy 1 gold mana pots? I'm just saying.
I mean, but I have to buy every other consume in the book as a rogue or a warrior.
Also, like 3 silver a pop. Like, come on.
And my hunter has to have scrolls for my pet. I have a ton of consumes.
And food, specific food for your pets and everything. Yeah. I don't really feel like I spend a ton of gold like I feel like I spend it, but it's always like, oh, I want to like upgrade like this gear or whatever. Like the base is not very high, but you can find some things to sink your gold into. I think the most expensive thing is the waylaid supplies, or what's that one? The one rune that you get, like the serendipity for warriors, right?
The one from Ratchet, right?
Yeah, the Ratchet one. Like those seem to be like the biggest money things, unless you're looking.
They've dropped though a ton too.
Yeah, but unless you're looking for like a specific item that you want to hold on to, like, I mean, people are going to need their mount money come 40. That's what you're going to need.
But that's cheaper too. Like
I didn't even know.
It's crazy because I didn't know. I watched Willie's video, and I think he's right. Well, he went and looked, and the mount's 38 gold and riding skills 9. So
that's not bad at all.
It's the same prices we had in Season of Mastery. So he's pretty sure that we're gonna have the same Lotus stuff from Mastery too, where it just drops off high level nodes rather than you camping Lotus. And I
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like those are going to be in.
Surprise of a change. That's good.
Yeah, and like, I mean, you could buy 150 gold, 300 gold blue BOE that's just going to be replaced later. Like, that's not my jam, but maybe that's what you want to do. You could go to a GDKP, or you could just go get the gear free. Like, you know what I mean? Like, It's
Right.
there's so many people on
there's
on
people
all
running
these
5-hour pugs,
servers.
you know?
Like, yeah,
5-hour
Jump into
pugs.
one,
Yep.
and
that's pretty rare
Get
though. That's
yourself
pretty
into one of
rare.
those.
But I mean,
We're
there's just
definitely
not
in-
really like,
If they've wiped 12 times already, probably don't join that group.
yeah, there's
Hey,
just
no.
not a ton.
Had people had that mentality, we would have never finished.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think the major reason why people are trading gold over is for GDKPs at the moment. The people who have a bunch of gold and wrath, and they're just like, I want to get my bis and I want to get it when it drops, and I don't want to have to roll against, I don't know, for some of the melee loot, like 5 other people. So they just go and they buy their gear with that. And that is a big gold sink. I think I saw the caster staff go for 1,000 gold on sods the other
What?
day.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Jeez.
I have not had, I don't think I've earned 1,000 gold across all my characters inside.
No.
Yeah, I'm up to like 450, 500, but I think I've earned over 1,000. I think I've spent a lot, but I haven't bought it on
Dude.
GDKPs or gear or anything. I've bought just tons of consumes. I've also given a lot of friends gold too. A lot of
Best
friends
would be
came
if you're
back.
in that GDKP and somebody paid 1,000 gold for it, and you're like, yes. Like,
yeah, you're like, whoa, now I can go in and spend like 50 on it. Like next,
Right.
then the next GDKP I
Yeah,
see it drop.
right?
Like, holy moly.
Has anybody here done any in SOD? I haven't done any.
Yeah.
I just haven't felt the
No.
need. Like in
I've done
Swamp,
it.
there's runs all the time.
It's hard for
Yeah.
me because I'm on an EU server, so it's difficult for me to find. I've been looking for a guild that has my NA times, and that would be like 1 or 2 a.m. server time. So it's not been an easy look. So a lot of times I go in trade chat and like I get off work and it's 6-7 o'clock my time, so it's past midnight on server, and only thing that's getting posted in LFG is GDKPs. So I went in there and I got like 6 gold payout from the first one, like 4 from the second one. I finally bought a piece yesterday for 16 gold, the caster offhand, and then the payout was 16 gold. So it evened out
There you go.
anyways. So
Dude, and when I farm, I make like 30 gold an hour. Like if I farm
Jeez.
5 hours straight, well, some of these greens are selling on the auction house for silly amounts. 15
Yeah,
gold.
that's true. It's insane.
I'm
It
just
is
like,
actually
okay,
insane.
whatever.
I feel like though for SOD right now, I mean the dungeon resets or the raid resets every 3 days, right? So, and it's a 10-man, so it's not like you can't compete against that many people for the gear. And if you've got like, I get why Go would do it, like not having a guild that runs at the times that he wants to, but I feel like there's just not that much competition, and I'd rather play with 10 people that I enjoy, 9 people that I enjoy playing with.
yeah.
And you know, it's like the content's hard that you're not going to get in a group if you don't have full bis, right? So like,
Right.
I mean, now there's like a level of entry apparently, so that you don't get into really long runs. But
Go needs
I
to
think-
come to Swamp, man.
If you've got a spot for me, I farmed up some reps, so I at least have the PvP caster ring. So I've got like 6 spell power on my balanced druid. I'm ready to raid.
Nice.
I come to the beer league.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, we have a good time. I raid with everybody here, but you at different times. I even raid with BAP. I think usually Saturday nights in Wrath.
Yeah, in a few hours.
Yep.
And then we do our sod ones as well.
Yep.
Whenever they might be. They're all over the place there.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I've been like, I think you'd have a good time, and a lot of the like, I got to run a Bobka raid yesterday. I'd never run one of those. Like, and he's not holding anybody out. Like, he's bringing new people in. Like, it's really been a fun guild. Like, and there are some super sweaty groups, you know, and like, there's a whole bunch of different groups that have different agendas, and it's worked out for me so far. Great.
Yeah, same. I didn't really know where I was gonna stand on SOD, like at which scale, like if it was gonna be like super sweaty hardcore or if it was gonna be more laid back. And I find myself covering all of it. You know what I mean? Like from doing this, like the speed runs, you know, with K Super to
I want to do
doing,
speed
like,
runs, dang it.
to doing the 5-hour Bob. Yeah, you know,
Oh,
a little
feels
bit of
bad.
solo queue
Ends of the
PvP, a little
spectrum
bit
there.
of yeah, like we got it all covered. It's so wonderful. I really am enjoying it so much more than I think I ever imagined. Like I
Same.
knew I was going to like it, but there was a little bit of like question in my mind. But now that it's here, I'm like I feel relieved because I feel like I have so many options of things to do, and all of them are accessible. You know,
Mhm.
like readily there, and I don't know. It's just it feels good to log on and have, you know, that spectrum. Like, what do I want to do today? How hard
Right.
do I want to go? How, you know what I mean? And then just like work from there. And it's been so pleasant. And yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I think about what it was before, and I never had like the alts and the desire to level everything like I do in this current state. So
Yeah, I think having all the different types of groups in the same guild has really been fun, right? Because you can kind of hang out with different groups of people that you enjoy hanging out with. And I know it'll get less and less as we progress, right? Because not everybody's going to work up all 6 characters that they have right now to 40 or to 50 or to 60, right? But right now, I think I'm just enjoying my beer league and, you know, randomly getting put into a parse run that I was not prepared for and did not enjoy.
Speed run. Rugs is speed
yeah.
run was what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
It was her first run too.
My first BFD.
And
And
Rugs
I
was
was
like, go.
and Bob was just like, hey, let's go to this run with Rugs. And I was like, okay. And I get in and it was just like this super speed run. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I need to go back to the beer league. I need to enjoy my life. This is too much for
You
me.
need to crack open a beer and chillax
Yeah.
and
I
be
was
able to
Hold
get
on.
up and
when am I supposed to fill up my drink?
Hold on, you never went
oh no,
back.
we don't do that. You don't need to on a speed run. You're done in 15 minutes.
It was my
Easy.
second run because I had
Oh.
done one beer league. And then I
Oh.
did
okay.
one rug. Yeah.
Oh, we couldn't make the next beer league one or something, right? Because
Well,
we were
you
doing
had already
something.
signed us up for the rugs run.
Rugs,
Like,
but
we signed up.
yes, that's why. Yeah.
Oh, was that at the time when like there were only like 5 runs, so people were signing
Mhm.
up for every
Yeah,
single one, and it was
yep.
like just hoping, like fingers crossed, that we got into any of
Mhm.
them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, Rugs had confirmed us already. So I was like, well, we go with the first one that confirms us, you know. But now we're kind of getting more into set groups and stuff too, which is good. All right, well, let's play the rest of this.
Completely besides the point. Everybody's got to stop interrupting Bob. Bob, I'm on your side, man. I mean, you'll never catch me in a GDKP and SOD, but you gotta let Bob speak. He was making a pretty good point. Anyway, phase 2,
Yeah.
the PvP zone. I heard a Stranglethorn Vale. With like how they did Ashen Vale and like the Warsong rep, how are they gonna make Stranglethorn Vale like make sense with the Wrathy Basin? Like, are they gonna add NPCs that like, you know, are a Wrathy Basin rep, or is there might be a new rep? I would like to hear your guys' ideas on that. And love the podcast as always, Bob. You're a hell of a freaking host, man. Love to be on that show one day, but hey, it is what it is. Keep doing what you do, bro. You're doing good. And thanks for all the episodes and the good laughs. Love you.
You were too kind. You were too kind. But so okay, what the thing in there was Stranglethorn Vale.
And how it connects to Arathi Basin, or how they're potentially going to connect it to Arathi Basin.
Do you think they'll connect it? I don't
I
think
think
it's
it'll be the same
necessary.
rep, don't you? It might not be the same rep, which would make me
It
sad.
probably is. I don't know if it's necessary. I mean, it has been kind of nice having there's a lot of rep in WSG, but what is the benefit of getting exalted for every rep? There's going to be epics at every
Gear, glorious gear. Level, the blues and epics go up every 10 levels. It's 18,
Okay.
28, 38, 48, 58. So if you get those
40 gear
done,
too.
yeah, and there's level,
It's like
there's
40, 50, 60, yeah.
Oh, at the 10s. Okay.
right now it looks like
Oh.
everybody's BIS bracers, at least pre-BIS bracers, are going to be from Exalted Warsong Gulch.
Yep.
But that could change. But right now, looking at all the gear in the game, currently, it is definitely the best. And we've seen lots of classes that do have BIS gear that's not in the raid. So it is a pretty big boon to be able to just, as soon as we're in the next thing, you just get a few pieces of like free gear to help you with that pre-BIS grind. So I don't think it's huge, but I think it is a pretty big boon.
It'd be nice if it gave Arathi Basin rep, unless they were holding off for that for like the level 50 band. If it made sense for whatever zone's going to be the PvP event at level 50 for that rep to come in. But maybe it's going to be the Zandalar tribe rep from like Zolgarub, since it's in STV. And then we can go ahead and pre-get some reputation for that faction before we get to 60.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's where you get like the weapon oils, I think, for enchanting
The
and
Zanzas.
a couple other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mangoes, the essence mangoes and stuff too.
Yeah, and like there's something like the speed boost.
The
Zanzas.
the Zanzas are they have the speed boosts on them.
And that's a huge the speed boost one for speedrunners, and then there's two other ones that we would use for parsing, right?
There's
like the health one. Oh man, I've forgotten now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's 3. One is yellow, one is pink, and one is green, and I always get the pink one.
You can only use one. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to use one, and then you can pop one and then have another one in your bags if you're like going directly to raid. I think it would be cool if they implemented something with the STV arena that's not just the chest. Like, it would be cool if you had some sort of incentive, even if it was like a every man for himself, like battleground or something. I think that would be really cool in the arena, and then you can gain rep that way or something. Or I don't know. I think that would be. They need to utilize that more, because there's obviously STV is always known for ganking and a lot of PvP, but I think finding a way to do that would be nice.
What about you, Bep? You can't be bothered about the open world PvP?
I'm a leecher, so I'll sit in the groups in Ashenvale and pretty much do no damage and say thank you for the rep, or I'll just wait at the flight path and get the rep when it finishes. So every man for themselves, that idea really scares me, Jenna, because I will be screwed. So no, I'm not sure. I mean, it'll be nice to get some form of rep for my own personal reasons. I'd rather that be Horde and Alliance-based battlegrounds and not every man for themselves, but excited to see what they come up with. Yeah,
even if it's... Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Yeah, even if it's just like major city rep, or you could get a tabard and then I could get Orgrimmar rep and get that exalted, because right now I can't get major city rep and that feels bad for me. I've turned in my wool cloth, but I can't turn in silk. I can't turn in rune cloth. So I want to get my reputations exalted, even if I don't get a reward for it. It's just something for me to do. So
they're going to have the mounts available once you get exalted, right? So I mean, there is that incentive, but I think that the reason I like every man for himself is because it would be nice to see. I want to see a battleground where it is Horde v Horde in a line. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see everybody kill everybody. Like, it's. I don't know why it just is so appealing to me, because it's like having the only Horde versus Alliance is. It's not all encompassing, right? Because like people roll certain classes and certain races for their for their benefit, and I just think it would be kind of interesting to see, like who would come out on top, like how, because there still has to be some sort of like tech to go ahead and be the last man standing, and how often would that be? And maybe you can get a debuff is like if you've won you can't go back, or if you win multiple times in a row you get like bigger bonuses. I just like that idea of having an every man for himself event with some reward. It might not be rep, but there should be something. There should be something cool that's not just, oh, you get the chest, right? Because you could be last man standing, and then somebody come in while you're looting the chest, and while you're 3 HP, you know what I mean? Like literally on your last leg, you get ganked by a level 12, and they take it from you. Like, I don't know, which is kind of cool, but if it was like an actual battleground, I think that would be fun.
It would be cool for me too, because as a horde druid, I don't face any shaman. So I've heard balanced druid has issue killing shamans, and I haven't run into that. So that would be my chance to be able to see, like, our alliance druids just that bad. They can't kill shamans. Come on, guys.
I didn't know the shot kitty had any weaknesses.
I can kill paladins. Come on.
Dude, the shot kitty can kill like everything if you're doing the PvP spec where you've got the speed and then you're just shooting them and then running away and shoot. Like, drives me nuts, man.
The speed is so sick.
Oh my gosh. And, there'll be a lot more speed in the game though come next talents. So
good, because it won't just be shaman and hunter.
Right.
Hunters annoy me. So, like, if I could ask for a hunter nerf, it would be their movement speed. Like, screw their damage, let them pump, reduce their speed.
Yeah, they go very fast.
I think I died. I played my hunter last night in the in the Warsong Gulch, and I think I died like twice. Like, even when we lose like the team fight, they just I'd be able to get away.
Yeah, you just run around.
Like,
you just
and
turn
even
around,
my pet would get away. Like, nobody kills
Speed
pets.
away.
Kill pets, guys. I know it sounds
I kill
crazy.
pets all the time.
Kill
As a
pets.
warlock,
Yeah.
I focus fire. Yes, I
don't
do.
say kill pets. No, because I'm trying to hibernate them and crowd control them, and then people dot them up. A warlock dots them up, and I'm like, why? It's hibernated. It's controlled.
Only
you broke
if it is, but most of the time it's not.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's running around, killing the healer. You know what I mean? Killing me. I'm like, nope, fear it, dot it, get it out of here.
Yeah, they're a lot easier to kill than you would think if you just focus on them, man. Like, and then the hunter can't bring them back quick.
Right, because they have to be out of combat, right? And it's a super long cast. So, if I have the opportunity to, if I'm on my warlock, I do. If I'm on my priest,
Well, and a little tip for people. I didn't know this until I just started doing it with my hunter, but if you kill my pet instantly goes to like medium happiness. If I res him, I do have to feed him. And so if I res him twice, he can get really angry and be like just a pain in the butt. If you kill me, your pet always comes back fully happy. So if you kill the pet, like, it is a pain in the butt for the hunter. And if you don't kill the pet,
do that even more.
Yeah, I mean, it it doesn't go after.
Let him re-summon it, kill it again.
But the only thing is when he dies, when he comes back, no matter how mad his pet was, pet goes back to full happiness. So that's the only thing. But if you're in a long fight,
ever kill the hunter. Just
let him just cast
and
his
also
arrows at your face.
Yeah, if there's a priest or heal that's out of mana, guys, leave them be. They like, it is better for them if you kill them. Like, kill the DPS, then turtle them, mess with them, like, slow them.
Just always leave the priest
giving
alone.
them all the tech.
I think you should just never focus the priest. I think the priest is fine. Leave them alone. No need to touch them.
No, I attack the priest till it's
Don't touch us.
Priest do what is it? Mana drain? Oh, priest. You're the only mana drain right now, and I hate that so much.
Every time I get mind controlled, every time I get mind controlled in Wrath, my mind control person will always either pop my hymns, which I'm like, really? Or 2, then they start mana draining just everybody around. That's all my mind controlled priest does.
But yeah, if I'm in Warsong and I'm as a balanced druid, I pray somebody kills me. I will look for a fight that I die so that I get a full mana bar. I'm like, yo, thank you. And then I get a 30-second res timer. I'm like, why did I die?
So you gotta have the res timer add-on so that you know when to get killed.
Yep. Yeah, we get a little sweaty with certain things. We really do. All right, well, here's the next one.
All from Crusader Strike. Hope you're all doing well.
This was a little hard to make out. I tried to clean it up, but it just kept sounding robotic. I wasn't able to do it last night, so sorry about that, guys.
All from Crusader Strike. Hope you're all doing well. I just wanted to hear your guys' opinion on the state of dungeons and kind of how we're running them in Season of Discovery. I remember back in Classic Vanilla and even the earlier expansions where CC was actually required because players had not mastered their classes and the damage output was so low that mobs would stay alive a lot longer and the damage going out to the players would be a lot higher. I know towards the end of the game as well, like Strathone, level 60 dungeons, people would actually get 1 or 2 shot and there would be deaths pretty regularly if the tank was not allowed to build aggro and CC wasn't used properly. I noticed in Season of Discovery here we're kind of just rushing in, AoEing everything. Everybody's so powerful. What's your guys' opinion on the flow of the dungeon? Do you guys enjoy the quick dungeons, kind of retail-esque or Wrath-esque? Or would you guys prefer the damage and health of the mobs be tuned in? I'm not asking for complicated mechanics, just in general, more health, more damage, requiring CC again, requiring the tank to build aggro and all that. Thanks for your time.
So just one thing real quick is they did buff the damage of the world, like across the board. That's why you actually were getting hit a lot harder while you were leveling up. It's just this gear is nuts. Like running dungeons was a little tough before we got the gear, but now the gear, I mean, you could literally run a dungeon with 5 DPS. Like you could run RFK with 5 DPS. Like one person that like one feral druid could heal if you guys have gear. So it's like, but all in Classic, like it's always been, you don't really need a tank until you get to the 50s. And then those dungeons don't mess around. Skullomance will jack you up if you do stuff wrong. I mean, it is tough, you know? And like, so I don't know how that's going to be with the gear and the changes and moves and everything else, but I wouldn't put it past them buffing even more damage. But I know that the devs said they didn't want to buff health because they didn't want to make it a long slog. They wanted to make it just more exciting with more damage to you from mobs. But I don't know. You guys got thoughts on this?
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead, Mel.
No, I just feel like it's fun right now. We're level 25. We're kind of like pounding through things, right? There's not a ton of dungeons that I felt like, I think they'll get a little bit harder just in general. They get harder, right? Just in like the WoW progression. I think the early dungeons are supposed to be pretty easy. I think their goal with the first phase was just to make it accessible for everybody and for everybody to feel really good about playing their class, right? I think as the phases go on, I think you'll see a little bit more challenges, some more mechanics where you've got to CC and do a lot of different things. But this first phase, I feel like it was just like play all the classes, play what you want, play how you want. Everybody's going to be fun and exciting. And, you know, I think they've succeeded at that, right? I think everybody's really enjoyed how powerful their class is and that they're not squishy or you can't not play this class because you're not gonna, you know, do any damage or anything like that. So
I remember even in hardcore, I never felt comfortable taking on a druid until like, I'm trying to think of what level, like once we would go to Scarlet Monastery, that's when I first would feel comfy. Like I could do it and or no, not Scarlet Monastery, the one in Stormwind. Because, like, basically, as soon as you have like swipe and like the talent points, I forget exactly, but like early on, I felt horrible taking, you know, as a druid, and you know, so. But I remember our original Classic in 2019, I tanked multiple times as a two-handed sword warrior in ZF, and we were just fine, you know, and I was doing it in arms spec, you know, like just with, plate armor. So I don't know, like it runs kind of like I thought it would. We're just more powerful. Like, so I don't know.
I love to solo dungeons, and I'm able now that I'm a little bit geared to solo like
It's really fun.
I can solo Wailing Caverns, I can solo Dead Mines, and I really enjoy that. So if they make it harder to do that, it's gonna feel bad for me. But I understand too, because I miss those days where we would have to plan before the pool. We're like, all right, we got Skull X, we got Square. We're gonna sap Square, we're gonna Sheep Moon, and we're gonna kill Skull and X.
It's like,
I did like
who
that.
touched the sheep?
Yeah. And in TBC, we did that because the heroics, as soon as we dinged 70, you had to crowd control. And it did cause some stress and some issues. Like, there was a certain guildie back in the day that he ended up stopped playing because he couldn't handle people breaking crowd controls in the heroics. And it was like, I mean, we're still clearing, we're clearing Shadow Labs, but it is taking an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the classic crew want that? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think the classic crew wants it, but I would like it because I remember being so excited when TBC hit back, in the day. And it was just so nice to I felt like it was like a natural progression. Like you were in classic, you were just running 1 to 60 content, good. You know what to do, and then you get in there and you're like, wait a second, why can't we kill these? Like, you can't just burst everything down. It was nice to see you yourself as as your character, progress. Okay, now as a warlock, I was using my succubus, or I was having to go ahead and banish outside of a raid, right? When do you do that? You'd never do that, almost ever. And it was, I don't know, I think that is something that was good because you were able to be you also saw a lot more variety in the groups too, but again, you had things what was it, Shattered Halls, where you were you needed a mage. You didn't need one, but it was if you could get 2 mages and a warlock with seed, and you know what I mean, all the CC,
Blizzard,
it was
Your wife's gonna be so much easier.
Oh, it was so good because I would like to see that. I think I would like to almost see a heroic version of every dungeon in SOD. I think that would be fun. I like that idea.
I think that's coming. I think that's levels, where they said in the timeline, level 60 content or whatever. I think that'll be coming. But what do you think, Beth?
I am very happy with a good old easy dungeon. I mean, I hate leveling, and specifically I hate questing, so I just try getting the dungeon in and out as quickly as I can, and I like being able to just pug it and not have to worry about, do we have a dispel in the group? Do we have someone who can CC in the group? So for me, throwing together the first 4 people who whisper me invite and re-saying it every 15 minutes is perfect. And I think a lot of people have a similar mindset in terms of leveling. I'd like to think that a lot more people will be angry if dungeons get harder than people will be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree with that.
And yeah, but that's my take. Again, very, very casual.
It's a good one. I
take
like
on
it. The thing
I mean, I
with
think we all
dungeons-
saw it in Wrath when they implemented the alpha, beta, gamma dungeons, right? It was oh, this is kind of cool, but it was I'd really rather just plow through these dungeons quickly.
Gamma did it,
instead of having some of these annoying mechanics, right?
Gamma came out and I was like, this is great. Any tank can just hold aggro because of thorns. It's nice and easy. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go both ways. I like both. I like doing super sweaty things and I like doing super easy things. I just like hanging with people that I like hanging with, and I like getting better, improving myself.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the beauty of SOD is you can have all of it. You can have your cake and eat it too. And that having the ability to have heroics is great because it's not going to gatekeep the people that don't want it. You know what I mean? Because not every there's nothing wrong with being super casual. That's the greatest part of the game is there's no wrong way to play. right? And if you're running around wanting to do the super casual content, it's available. If you want to do heroics, if you want to speed run, if you want to take 5-hour runs, it doesn't matter, right? Like, we're good. Everything is possible. And yeah, it would be nice to see. I think it would be nice to see that mix.
You had something to close out with, Go. You were gonna say something.
So the thing I don't like about the dungeons right now, the state of the dungeons, is the boosting. But I also hate the boosting change that they put into TBC and Wrath Classic, where you get stunned after you're in combat with a mob for a minute.
Yeah.
And I hated those. Like, you can't use reset spots. I kind of hated those too because they were fun. You if you knew the spot and you could get to it, it was still a risk, but you could still reset. You didn't have to run back. You didn't have to take durability loss. But I would be for somehow getting rid of the boosting. I can't tell you how many people I had just put on ignore because they're spamming LFG chat selling boosts. It's like, I don't care about your WC boost. I don't care about your RFC boost. Get it out of my chat. Ban it. Well, no, I wouldn't say ban it, but because a homie of mine does boost. But
Yeah,
Give them their own chat.
yeah. Have your own channel.
yeah. I don't boost anything, but also I have tons of time to play, so I don't. Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna judge anybody, but I'm not a big fan of it either.
I think it's only going to get worse as we get closer and closer to 60. Every band
100%.
has a
I was
new
thinking, I was
dungeon.
like 25. Like, come
Yeah.
on, you can't get to 25.
In retrospect, whoever thought a healing mage was a good idea?
Oh, the healing
In
mage is
retrospect,
insane.
yeah, you're just like, wait a second, fuck.
Yeah,
We
the
just made the
farming
best
class?
OE
Okay.
class even easier to because like Frost AOE is impressive. Anyone who thinks it's easy, I challenge you to like do it all the way to level 60 on Classic Era. I challenge you. It is not easy, especially when you get into Zol, Farak, and things of that nature. So yeah, like I don't like it when people say that, oh, it's easy, but it's pretty easy now. Like, it's pretty easy from what I've seen. I haven't tried it, so, but from what I've heard from people who have done both, it's a lot easier now and a lot more accessible.
Yeah, keep the dungeons easy. That's my
agree.
overall take. I want to, because that's how I plan to level. I've done every quest on my main tune. I want to go into RFK at launch and just solo mobs and get XP that way.
I mean, there's also only a certain amount of development time, and I just think there are other places in the game the devs can be working on versus dungeons that will give a better overall effect.
Which places are you referencing?
Just anything we've discussed in the last 1.5 hours,
I had to put you on the spot there. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, obviously, the rune developments, the turning Gnomeregan into the raid, if they want to make those changes, what you suggested in terms of the vulnerabilities, I think that's a better place to focus on than dungeons.
I agree.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. The voicemails were awesome this week. Thank you. It's 816-866-1066 or speakpipe.com/Warcraft Reloaded. Leave us more. We love it. All right. What's everybody been doing this week? I've got a little bit to go, so maybe I should go last. I've got some sad news. Good
I've
and
got
bad.
some sad news too. We'll start with the sad news, right? Just rip the Band-Aid off.
All right, go.
So last week, I think it was last week, I quit Wrath Classic. I G-quit.
Ooh.
I left my raid group. They just killed Heroic Lich King for the first time this week, so shout out to A Sense of Purpose on
Without you.
Congrats.
Without me. Yep, that's what it took. I was holding them back.
So we see the connection here. There's
They got a better balanced druid, and that's all it took. Maybe it was the 20% buff. I don't know. But no, I got Warsong Exalted rep, like I mentioned earlier. What else did I started fishing a lot, and I started prepping for phase 2, getting the Ironbound trunks in Tenaris. And that's fun. It's like open world PvP too, because I'm on a PvP server. So if I see a horde or an alliance fishing, I can go up and kill them and steal their fishing node. It feels great. It feels fantastic. I started farming Ratchet Rep because I'm at that point where I've done every quest except for I think 6, and they're like the hard elite red quests. So I'm grinding mobs in the Barrens for Ratchet Rep. Maybe that'll come in handy. I don't know. I'm still doing BFD every lockout if I can. I've got 5 pieces I still need. So that has felt kind of bad. It's like I've never seen the caster neck, the caster ring, the staff. None of those drop. I still need the legs. So I'm still active in BFD. I'm not raid logging. I haven't quit SOD. There's no like phase 2 waiting room. Like I'm in there. I'm playing.
Nice. What about you, Bep? Because you just got back from a long trip.
Yeah, I've been on a few trips that started when ICC was released. I was away for a month, and then I was on a cruise as well that I got back from last week. So I've been very on and off, pretty much just raid logging at this point, though. I think the good thing about WoW is that I've been able to meet people from everywhere in the world, but the bad thing about that is I have all my American friends wanting to play on NA and all my Australian friends wanting to play on Oceanic servers, which means I need to play on 2. So for me, that takes up enough of my time. So I have my raid on Oceanic, which is with a guild, speedrunning a lot lately. I haven't been participating in the most intense of the speedruns, just the splits at the moment, which is perfect for me because I would definitely crumble under the pressure. So doing that, and then on NA, I have my GDKP. Both of them are demo warlocks because I refuse to play anything else. And then on SOD, I have 2 warlocks as well. So I have my warlock on Crusader Strike that I'm pretty much just raid logging, doing BFDs with Bob. Finally started to get some gear, which is nice because I had a bit of a dry spell for the first 2 months almost. I think I was 10 lockouts in and I'd gotten 2 items the entire time, but it's all coming in now, so that's good. And then just Sting 25 on my Oceanic lock, so taking that little rat to its first BFD and going to leech all the gear from my friends tomorrow. And I leveled a Hunter on Crusader Strike as well, and I went to 1 raid, won the crossbow, and I've decided that I absolutely hate Hunter. So I don't think I'm ever going to be playing it again.
Well, I'm so glad you went to that raid because you were too kind. I shouted you out the last episode, but the crossbow drop for you, you won that and the trinket, but you graciously gave the trinket to the second highest roller, which was my warrior. And big ups.
That was a good move because I don't think I'm ever logging into that Hunter again. So you're welcome, but I'm glad
I've fallen in love with the Hunter. Like I'd never played one before. I'm in love. Like I love farming. I've never loved farming, but I guess it's because I've been a rogue and a warrior.
Yeah, those are 2 classes that are not fun classes to farm on. That's for sure. Not without friends, right?
Yep.
So, Bap, you're like me. All I play is Balance Druid, and it sounds like you enjoy playing as Warlock, yeah?
Yeah, well, I try to expand my horizons, but I've realized I don't really know how to play any other classes, and I don't like going into a raid and feeling like I'm not playing well. So I mean, I chose Hunter because someone was like, oh, pets do like 90% of its damage. And I was like, that's perfect because I can put my pet on a mob. And then I think just before my first BFD is when the nerf came in. And everyone was like, you're going to have to like do a new spec and get your new runes. And I was like, well, I don't have time for that. The raid's tomorrow and I'm out and I'm planning on logging on 30 minutes before it starts because all the NA raids are quite early in the morning for me. So I was like, I'm just going to go in how I am. And the damage was okay, but it wasn't as awesome as I was expecting. It seems like I need to put in a bit more effort on my part, which I'm probably not willing to do.
Mel could relate with you there because she was enjoying her paladin tank, but she was just like, we were in Ulduar. It was our like second raid, and she was the second tank, and she was just like, I don't have time to research, and I hate not knowing everything I should know.
They're like, you should get a ret spec. And I was like, listen, I just figured out how to kind of tank. I'm not gonna try to figure out how to play Ret 2 and know like what gear I need to get. No, it was way too much. I just quit. I just
Yeah,
never logged in again.
Yeah, that can be super, super daunting. Like the whole aspect of trying a new class. This is the first expansion that I've even attempted healer, and thank goodness it's priest. It's very straightforward. But like whenever I think about like shaman or druids or anything, my head literally like explodes. I'm like, because there's like so many different options. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I want no part of that.
Yeah, I just
I agree.
leveled up my druid healer, and it's like, I don't know, I'm just like so comfortable in my priest healer that I don't have to think about a lot. I know what to do, right? And I'm on a druid, and I'm like, I don't know what I should be doing here, and like feel like I do the wrong thing, right? And then people die, and then I'm like, but you probably deserved to die. You stood in the.
Doesn't it?
You didn't attack the totem. You freaking attacked the boss, and you died. Like that's not my fault. You got hit by 22 bubbles on the turtle boss. Like, get out of here.
But wouldn't
Love
you
that
say that like the reason you've been more open to doing the druid is because we're not level 60. The level 25, I think, has opened that up for you, and I think it's opening up other classes for a lot of people. Because in Wrath, I tried Feral, I tried DPS Warrior, I sucked at them. The only reason I think I'm like pretty good at Rogue is because I spent the entire expansion playing combat. So, and because like there's a lot to Wrath, but it could turn out, could turn out that by 60 season Sod is more complicated than Wrath, but I'm hoping that's not the case.
Well, I think it's just like there's only so much I could do up to level 25. I think having the dungeon or having the raid be easy is helpful, right? Because I don't feel like I can go into the raid on my fresh druid and not feel like we're not going to complete the raid or we're going to wipe on bosses because I'm not as good at my class. I feel like we'll still make it through. Like one or two people might die when they're being dumb, but I feel like it's not like if I were to go like when I was tanking, it was like if I don't know what I'm doing, people will die and they'll hate me, right? Like
Yeah, that was also my fear as a
easy.
healer too, is like, oh my goodness, if I do this wrong, I'm gonna die and then they're gonna kick me. And obviously, well, for me, I was playing hardcore for like a year and a half straight, 2 years. So like I was not willing to attempt that there. So but Sod having the 25 cap, it just feels like it gives you enough time to really properly get a feel for the class. And then, okay, do I actually like this? Like I started playing Shaman and I know I don't like it. Like, I'm like, nope, this is not for me. I got to like level 10 and like, or 13 and I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, I feel
like I wouldn't like Shaman either.
Yeah. It just, I don't even know why. It's just, it feels not cozy. But I know some people that are like, I love
have
Shaman.
to be a Tauren. That's the only reason I don't like being a druid is because I have to be a Tauren. But I can turn into a cat, so that makes it kind of okay, right?
It's
So
a
I don't
wolf.
have to look at my Tauren self.
It's a wolf.
Whatever.
Well, you dissed Tauren there for a second, so I had to correct you.
Wait, isn't it?
Wait, I thought the druids. No,
druids is. Druids is a
lion.
lion.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about shamans there. Sorry.
Oh,
no.
No, shaman is the ghost wolf. Yeah.
Yeah. No, cats.
Which was
like,
the only reason I wanted
cat.
to get to shaman is because I was like farming on my warlock and I kept seeing like ghost wolves like sneak past me or like run past me and get to the herb nodes, and I was like just getting so irritated. I'm like I should roll one, and then that's actually how I got into priest too, is like running WSG and just getting literally queued into we would have one healer and on horde side, and they would have 3 priests and a mage and everything.
I haven't done
all the things like going all over your screen, like for Palm and penance, and no, I was like, I'm gonna play priest, and I love it now.
Wonderful. Palm's wonderful.
Yeah,
you're doing everybody a favor, Mel, by not doing Warsong as a priest, and I will be the first to thank you.
You're welcome. Bob does not enjoy that I don't do Warsong, but
makes me sad.
The less priest and Warsong, the better.
No, I disagree.
I don't have time for that.
No, we need to do priest war songs.
Yeah, unless they're on my team. If there's 3 on my team, we're good.
No.
What about you, Didakina? I don't think you went fully, did you?
Oh no. I have been doing speed runs with K Super's group in BFD. Our fastest run is 17:34, which is really cool. And then
Damn,
on
nice.
Monday we're going to be going for like the next push. So I actually have to go ahead and like level engineering. We have our drums and everything, so that's really exciting. And then just doing the super chill, BFD with you guys. I like that on the priest. I've been doing a lot of PvP, and then I still do hardcore. We were doing 40 mans and 20 mans over on Defias Pillager. So that's been really exciting. And last night, so I'm late to the party. The Cool Kids Club is not where I like typically hang out, and I like finally did Wrath, and I logged in and I was like so excited because like all my level 70 gear is like better than like the boosted gear that they give you, because I had just like boosted my Warlock, so I like had like an entire mailbox of like all the gear I had, and it was like nice to see like
I saw you opening that. That looked overwhelming to me.
It was, but it was like so nice. And tonight we're doing like a ladies' night with with some girls. We're gonna do war games. I have not played Wrath, so I'm not gonna be good. But it's just like I'm enjoying like having like fun in the different areas of WoW, like all over the place. It's really nice to have options, and to be able to bounce back and forth in between them is like it's lovely. So yeah, just hanging out with the friends, doing duos with like people from chat, like friends from chat has been nice. I like running dungeons, running raids. It's all great, and I think that just the increased level cap, looking forward to that, is going to bring more fun, to the table. So
yeah. Well, let me give my bad news, and then I've been the good stuff I've been doing with Mel, so I'll let her start telling about what we've been doing. But it's a sad day, guys. I know everybody loves it when Yip comes on, tells us about your progression in Varg on Wrath, but it is official. I don't even know if Mel knows this. I just saw it before we started the pod, but we, as a guild, are no longer raiding in Wrath. Thursday night was our last raid. We've been getting our ass kicked for weeks and weeks now with just roster boss. The only thing we have left was to do Heroic Ruby Sanctum and Heroic Lich King, and we just couldn't prog it with 22 people. And Thursday we had to run with 21 people. One of the people was just coming back on a fresh level 80. So it was really like running with 20 people, and killed almost everything on Heroic except for Putricide, and we didn't even try Syndragosa with the 20, and it's
we
just...
did kill Putricide on the Heroic once.
Oh, no, we killed it on Heroic a few times, but it was with like 23, 24 people. Sometimes Go would come in on his, just to help us out. But
doing
you can't
4K DPS, yeah.
Yeah, you can't really ask people to come in to a loot council guild as a pug. It just doesn't work. And so we're calling it quits for Wrath, and we're done with Wrath for now. We're plan is to come back for Kata. There is a lot of the people in Wrath playing Alliance on Crusader Strike. With this news, it makes me sad that I didn't keep the other account to be an Alliance account, because now I'm just not going to get to see those people for a long time. But we are doing like in-house, like Overwatch stuff. Yip's doing some Overwatch stuff where we'll play, with the guild and stuff. But it is sad. I mean, we had a long run, and we always rated TBC and vanilla. We rated until the last, we usually took the last two lockouts off. But we rated through the entire expansion and SOD and everything else, and it's, the roster boss got us.
It's just sad for me because you messaged me Thursday and asked me to come to raid, and I was like, No, I can't. I was in bed, and now you're making me feel like if I would have got out of bed and raided,
Yeah, so goes the
maybe
reason we
I could have
didn't,
saved Varg
I don't
if
think
I would have
so.
got out of bed.
Oh no.
I feel
Go
bad.
killed Varg.
I think this has
It's
been
all my fault.
I think this has been something on the officers and leadership's minds for weeks. And, it's okay, but it is a little sad.
Varg had a good vibe. Let me put that out there.
Yeah.
Because I did sub like a week or two ago. You had asked me on a Thursday night, I think it was, and I hopped in there. We did the raid, and it was a good fucking time.
Mhm.
Yeah, we always had a good vibe. Everybody comes in my stream was always like, dude, you guys are so chill. Like, and we just like one of the best raid leader I've ever had the privilege of following. And I hope Cataclysm draws me and Mel in, and, we continue on with him. So
Yeah, we've been in Varg since before we hit 60 in Classic Vanilla.
Yep. Yep. And there's just like level, I don't know, 18 or something like that.
What's really sad though now is
that's the
that
bad news.
probably won't log into Wrath again.
I'm the same way. I'm doing 2 still on Wrath. I forgot to mention I got 1,802s on Wrath. I feel pretty good. 1,800 ratings, really high.
I don't know if that's good. I don't know anything about it.
Well,
yeah, no, that's the only thing that I'm doing in Wrath now is I'm logging on with my homie Riggs. Shout out Riggs, and we do our 2v2 session. And
nice.
Yeah, we hit 18. Well, I hit 1,800. He's like 17 something.
That's awesome.
But he's up there. So that's my enjoyment in Wrath right now is 2v2.
Well, my Wrath, this is basically, I'm going to keep it to Pummel's GDKP, and now my guild rogue is going to go on, not this week because I'm locked, but not today, but it's going to go on to be in that, and I could use all my gold to buy that one trinket that I have not gotten yet. So I only need like 3 pieces to be full bis, so I can actually just overspend now because I don't have to worry. So yeah, it'll be fun to pump there because my other rogue is pretty ragtag. But yeah, that's the sad news. But you want to tell me the good news? How much fun we've had this last week thanks to Jordy and Only?
Oh yeah, we did all our pre-quests. Well, I did all of them on my priest, and Bob did all of them on his rogue with me, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I like questing, so that usually will get me in there. But I have like 25 complete quests in my quest log, which is
20.
exciting.
Or
20.
Yeah. No, I'm just really good. I have 25.
she's like,
Yeah.
don't worry. I picked up
It's-
extras. I'm doing extra credit.
Yeah, I got the extra credit quests. And
You didn't buy the +5 quest log from the WoW shop?
What have you
Come
been
on.
doing?
He is slacking.
Out of here.
It's been a blast though, like because
They are hard.
these are
though.
hard
The
quests.
pre-quests are
Yeah.
hard. Like I would not suggest going in on your own.
So we've been doing it with a group, and it's been fun. Open world PvP while you do it. Like it's like some of them are very
Extra
challenging.
greens.
Just looking at the way to get the same list and everything that we have. Check out last week's episode, but $5 sub to Jordy's Patreon, and you get this list, and it's actually amazing because they're setting you up. Some of the quests, you're like, there'll be like a quest chain, but you're supposed to stop at like the 3rd quest because the next 2 you turn in aren't you don't even have to do shit. Like you just go to another place and turn it in for more EXP. And there's a bunch of the quests in there that are like that, along with the items that drop that start a quest that just give you, along with like quests that you, for instance, I'll give you a little sneak peek, the Elixir of Agony. You go all the way down to the last quest, and then you just don't pick up the last quest because the last quest literally just gives you all the experience. So that's just technically a complete quest in your log that doesn't take up your 20. It's freaking brilliant, man. And when they come out with the the rested XP turn-in guide, it's going to feel so cool just going and doing that like 28, 29 in an hour. Like, but it takes hours to get all this done. But it's fun. Like the ones in Hills, Brad, you have to go into that place where the Humbert's helm drops. And like, it's tough because you have to fight off Alliance, like, and they're like level 30 and 31 and 32 elites, and you're going in with a group of 5. Like, it's been a freaking blast. Like, and it's gotten me to play with a bunch of people rather than just me and Mel questing, you know, like, which I enjoy, but it's neat to have this group and like, you know, get the Alliance. It's been just a blast, and I recommend it. It's going to be a dopamine hit from the high heavens come the 8th. So, and I've got it done on 2 twos now, Hunter and
do you need them done on
Rogue.
another one? Because I might need to be on that grind soon too.
Yeah, I have to
We're
do it.
going to
on
be
my
doing
druid
it.
still.
Yeah, and my warrior. My druids is going to be the last one.
Too. Yeah.
All right, look.
Join the party, guys.
we're already wrangling the troops.
Bap, what do you got? What ult do you have?
I haven't done it on my lock yet, but
There
all
we
the
go.
hours I play, you guys are fast asleep. So I don't know if it's gonna work out, but we'll see.
Not necessarily. I'm late night crew, so for the States.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Okay, we'll talk.
Like,
We'll talk.
10 p.m. to like 3 a.m. That's usually my play schedule.
It's
Me on
it's
the
been super
weekends.
cool.
Yeah.
My main is totally screwed because I've done all the quests for the gold. I got baited by the gold. I've
Like
done
even
it.
1,000 needles.
I can tell you the specific, like there's literally 6 quests that I have left to do for all of the beginner starter zones, everything.
Are you sure
I've
they
got
don't open
6
up into
quests left.
multiple quests after that? Because there's
I don't think so.
that was one thing we had to figure out when we went through it the first time, is that you have to do certain quests to open up the other quests, and then like so. There's actually like, I mean, if you haven't done any quests in 1,000 needles, there's 8.
Oh, I've done some. I've done a
Oh,
lot.
you've done some. Okay.
I've got hyper capacitor gizmo. I've got the
That
other one
one's
is
a
That's
test
one
of
of them.
endurance. Yeah, test of
What's the other
endurance. I
one?
need Grinka's claw.
Test of endurance
Test
is
of
a
endurance
bitch. Take a
Is the
5-man
prereq
group.
to test of strength, though.
And test of
which is
strength
one
you
of
can
the-
you can solo, but test of
I'm
endurance.
gonna,
ooh.
yeah. So I'll end up doing it before phase 2 because I'm at that point. I've only got 6 quests. I've got Battle of Hillsbred.
Now that
That's a big
one,
one.
yeah, that one goes all the way to. We got all of it done, and we didn't turn in the last piece because the last piece is 5K EXP.
Oh, that's a lot.
This is a
I've
ton.
got Elixir of Agony. And then the other 2 are 2 dungeon quests in RFK. I've got Blue Leaf Tubers and
That one, I trioed that one the
Elixir
other day.
Porter.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
You could probably solo it. You have to clear the whole path. Like the path you do the at the end of the dungeon, you do the walk yeah. If you clear that whole path, it's super easy to do, super quick, but clearing the path takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, literally everything else I have done. Those are the only quests left. So if there's like a continuation after those, I've got those available. But that's
sounds
it.
to me like somebody needs an alt.
I've got 4 level 25 druids, so I.
Oh,
could,
perfect. So you haven't done them
yeah.
on every single one, have
I
you?
haven't on your guys' server. No, Crusader Strike. That druid has all quests available.
Nice. Well, you've never messaged me to hang out. We're like hanging out almost nightly.
I was gonna take this opportunity because I didn't want to interrupt you while you were doing your dungeons or your pre-quest stuff, and I was like, this is the perfect time, and now it's out there in the open. So I am
Now, if
fully
we don't
available.
invite you,
All right, I will.
Yeah,
I will
I'm
let
putting
you
it
know.
in your hands.
We might end up running them with like 2 groups of 5 for the next
that would
one,
be really good.
because we've gotten a lot of people into it, and yeah, I do recommend buying the Jordan only guide. It's $5. Like it's worth it.
great.
If you've done quests, it's really nice to plug in the weak aura and just quickly see what you can do still. And it tells you like if you've already done it rather than trying to look through everything. And then the turn in part for rested XP it's not going to be released until just a couple days prior because they don't want it to get super pirated. But it's gonna like make it all worthwhile. Like it's gonna be really cool.
For sure.
So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And then raiding on Fortunes. I still haven't had to pug anything. Like there's usually always one of the groups that needs people, and so yeah, it's been really cool. I've got like a lot of good stuff on all my guys. My warrior has the dual wield bis. I haven't gotten to use it yet because I just got the sword, the main hand sword, like this last lockout. So I'm excited to try that. My hunter has both epic weapons, the two-handed sword and the bow, but doesn't have the trinket or the hat or a helm, which is hilarious. And then yeah, everything, like I've been having a good time. But that's basically everything I've been doing.
I've got one more thing to get off my chest, Bob.
Do it.
I've started because I'm trying to prep for phase 2, which I'm sure everybody is at some way or another at this point. And one thing I tried to do on my ult was to farm iron ore and 1,000 needles. If anybody goes to 1,000 needles and tries to farm iron ore, all they're going to find is gold nodes. They're not going to find any iron. Everything is now gold, and you can't farm the gold nodes because they're 155. It's so bad, and I hate it.
There's not a +5 mining on enchant rate until
+2.
later.
Yeah, there's a +2 right now, so you can get 3 points away.
Oh my goodness, it feels so bad.
The problem is those nodes can be it's like the mobs, like the quest mob is always
they can be
all dead.
One,
They can spawn either one, so you always see the one mob nobody needs, and you have to kill those for the quest mobs to come. It's the same thing with the ore. So like unless you're going right at reset, like all the ore has just basically been mined and then turned into gold. It's pretty sad.
Yeah. It's a
Tuesdays are pretty good.
So Ashenvale should have ore though, right? Ashenvale has a couple ore nodes from what I remember. But that not many at all. And that's probably farmed pretty heavily.
Yeah, that's a weird oversight that you don't think about.
Just need to get a new layer. We need more people to play. Just
All right. Well, I think we need to move into time for the news. Okay, not a whole ton of like stuff in the news, but I thought this was kind of neat. The whole Archon, is that how you say it? Archon? I don't know how to explain it, but it's a different site that's basically just taking data from right now it's only Wrath and Dragonflight, but it'd be cool to see this in SOD. Like it'll tell you like tier lists based on, what everybody's using, like all like the different talent specs. I mean, it's kind of like Warcraft Logs, but it's a little bit easier to understand. The thing that I loved about it was the talent specs, because maybe someone can correct me, but I've never been able to pull up a talent spec from Warcraft Logs. I can see what gear they're using and stuff, but I can't see talent specs. It's always driven me nuts. But did you guys see this at all? I don't know if you guys even saw this.
I saw it. I didn't really look at it since I stopped playing Wrath. But
yeah,
I see Balanced Druid is an A tier. So they've got S, A, B, C. Balance is an A tier. So I mean that's good for me, but
so he likes this site. It's like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's weird because Feral's in B. I don't know exactly how it works.
Feral is pumping. Yeah, what? Yeah, never mind.
Like I like haven't looked into it, but I wish it was there for SOD. That's all I'm saying. But like it shows trinket combo popularities. It just basically shows popularity in different ways. But we'll throw it in the notes. If you guys can tell me what this is best used for, I'd love it. Anybody? I don't think anybody really has anything to say about it, but if you do, speak up.
It's cool because it's something new, and maybe down the line it'll turn into something useful. But right now, it seems kind of weird. So yeah, it needs feedback. Let's put it like that. Yeah, it needs people's feedback.
Do they like how does it get their data? Do you have any idea?
I don't know.
It's the same company behind Warcraft Logs, so I'm sure it's pulling data
Oh.
from logs and compiling it somehow.
The same company is developing a
Yeah.
Not the same one as Radar.io, right?
I don't know if that one's different or not, but yeah, it just says Archon, the company behind Warcraft Logs.
All right. The next bit of news is, it's not really news. It's just kind of like a wish list. What I'd like is for everybody here. Well, Dedekina and Bap both do, I think your mains are locks, but I kind of wanted to just like look at these wish lists and just like, is there anything that you want or don't want? And I'll go first. One of the most requested things for Rogue is Fan of Knives. Please, for the love of God, do not give us Fan of Knives. It's a horrible move. Like in Wrath, I can't stand it. Just having to hit one button over and over again. Please do not give us Fan of Knives. It's freaking lame. It's not even a cone. Like, it's a full, like, any direction move, and I just don't like it. Like, so
you don't want AoE as a rogue, or would you prefer a different ability as AoE?
I want a different ability, something a little more focused, like toggle on a thing where you hit 3 mobs in front of you in a cleave, that like in a cone, and you could toggle it on and off, and it lowers damage, but it hits 3 things or something like that. Like, give us something like that, or
point finisher, and
or
it hits every mob around you, or something.
Yeah, or something, just something with a cone that adds a little bit of skill to it, and something that you don't have to like, because like it'd be neat to like do the thing where you toggle on hitting 3 mobs, because then you're doing all your moves still, right? But like, instead of just hitting one button over and over again, I hate it. I don't like it. You guys can combat that, but if not, go to your class and tell me what you would like to see, for yours out of that, or would not like to see.
So priest, there's Raptures listed on there, which I love Rapture in Wrath. The problem is that I don't think, like, they'd have to do something to shields, because shields right now just cost a lot of mana. And I think I just don't think it'd be like, the only reason that it's really effective in Wrath is because you can spam. I mean, that's all I do, and I don't know if I want Sod to turn into me just spam shielding every single person. But that's why it works, is because I think the cost of shield is lower in Wrath than it is in Classic. I don't know. I'm trying to remember, but I like it. I just don't know that it would pigeonhole you into a certain type of gameplay, I feel like, which I'm not sure. It's kind of like Fan of Knives, right? It's kind of like, if you want to just spam Fan of Knives, or if you want to just spam heal, like, you could put this in there.
That's what a lot of priests do in Warsong right now, is they pre-shield everybody. So at the very start, it's very intimidating to see a group of 10 players coming at you, and you can just see all 10 people with a pre-shield. And then it's going to fall off in a short amount of time. And does Rapture reduce that? Is that what it does?
No, Rapture gives you mana when
it gets
the shield
dispelled.
is...
Oh, yeah. Priests do not need that. No.
If it's dispelled, or if it gets like damaged off, right?
Yeah.
But the benefit of it is, like, in Wrath, you shield a lot of people before like a big AoE ability comes out. So if 20 shields get taken off at the same time, you get all of that mana back, right? And so getting 1.5% of your mana back for one shield isn't really going to make you use it, right? It's when there's a bunch of shields going off at the same time that I think you see the real benefits of it. But I could be crazy.
As Balanced Druid, they have listed Eclipse, and I don't think there's been a single Balanced Druid asking for Eclipse in SOD. So I don't know where they pulled their data from. But what I would like to see is an easier AoE, because we get Hurricane at level 40. It costs a lot of mana. It's on a 1-minute cooldown. There's been a data mine of Gale Winds rune, and that was like before SOD even launched. And even that could also use some improvement. I think it was like a reduced mana cost. It no longer has a cooldown. There might have been one, like a third thing, but I'm thinking realistically that balanced druid in particular, maybe druids overall, we might get a increase to the duration of our dots, hots, and bleeds. And that's not listed on here, but I think that's the route that Blizzard might go down for druid.
Okay. Bap or Dedekina, you want to go on yours?
Yeah. I mean, I took a quick scroll through that Wowhead article. They all sound cool, but at the moment, the thing that really shits me most is when I'm in raid and I'm dropping my Rain of Fire, and then the mobs get pulled out of it. So all I want is some form of better AoE at the moment, whether that be a Seed of Corruption rune or maybe even a completely new AoE spell. Just give me something else that's less irritating. Because yeah, it doesn't even help with my boss damage, but it's just, I feel like my quality of life in raids during trash or even during dungeons is so low at the moment. Just
Dude, that's even rough with like bombs and grenades. Like I'll go to throw my grenade, and then they move right the second that like I've
as it
put them out
lands.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang
it's
it.
just enough to where you like clip like 2 or 3 mobs, and you're like, there were 15 there. What is going on? Knock it off. Yeah. Well, they do have that Hand of Goldan. Are these guaranteed? They are in fact happening?
No,
Like,
no.
or
This is a wish list.
that does sound really cool. So I don't know if you saw that, but the Hand of Goldan, it'll like bring about imps. So it'll be like AoE. It's raining imps. Instead of raining men, it's raining imps. It's a warlock.
It's raining imps. Hallelujah. It's raining imps.
Is there a
That
cooldown
sounds
on
cool
it,
as
or you can just
shit.
use it whenever?
I don't know, but it says it uses 1 to 3 soul shards. Like that would be like, which could be an insane. Okay, so like obviously everybody knows that farming shards is one of the biggest pains, right? Because of inventory management. But to have an entire little army of imps just going ham, dude, that I don't know.
Well, it looks like it's
sounds-
3. Yeah, it looks like it's 3. It'll sum it up to 3 if you
Yeah.
have up to 3 shards.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I don't know. I
And they
wonder if
follow. Yeah, they follow. That I mean, that would be cooler than Seed, I think.
because then
minus the shards.
Minus
right,
the
exactly,
shards.
minus the shards. Yeah, because Seed, no, that was really nice.
What would be a good rune is a rune that similar to what we have in Wrath, where you can just drain a target dummy and get shards off that, and you can just put on that rune to farm your shards.
Give us target dummies in vanilla. How I've been asking for that since Classic.
Yes. No, that would be way too much. Like they'd be able to stack to like 3, I think
20.
at most. No. That would be so OP. Like 20. I mean, yes, as a warlock, of course, that would be fantastic. But that would be too much. Yeah. No, I can't even imagine. Or have because then you'd have to have like a max amount that you would be able to carry. Right now, it's just based on
But
so
Bap's got one that is one that I think they're gonna do a lot of quality of life ones. I really do here. Throughout the rest of it. And Bap might be onto something like that. It's something a lot of warlocks. I don't think any warlock would complain about that. Just like being able to get multiple shards off one mob, even if it's not like a trading dummy, but trading dummies would be nice in Classic era. Everything I've been asking for it since the beginning of freaking Classic, guys. It's fun to be able to practice rotation. Give us trading dummies. Come on, man. You do it on, you literally add them into every Classic beta that you do. Just add them in normal. Just have them there. But yeah, but dude, I think that could be a thing that would make warlocks just scream from the roofs. Hallelujah. I don't know.
I think quality of life runes, I'm going to say, might be level 50. So druids in particular, we get Gift of the Wild. So our party-wide Mark of the Wild buff is at level 50. So I think 40 we might still see like a little bit of change to people's specs, their rotations, stuff like that. And then 50 might be quality of life, and then 60 might be like, yo, here's your damage. Like here's something nice. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, give us where druids don't have to use a regent for B res, so that Sarth will finally remember to bring acorns.
I can feel with Sarth because sometimes I forget to, and I've played druid for the last like 4 years. So.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, I didn't even think quality of life for rogue. I really love the glyph that gives you water walking when you pop sprint. It's like pretty useless in a lot of cases, but it's pretty fucking fun in a lot of cases. I have killed myself with it though. If you pop it, like if you're falling into water and you pop it before you hit the water is now concrete.
Yeah, I don't know when does Mage get their like group wide AoE buff for Arcane Brilliance and other specs like that?
I have no
like
idea.
Priest. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't wait until we have an AoE to like buff for like priest, because it takes
Yeah.
a third of my mana for every fortitude that I cast. Oh, it's
Mhm.
gross. It's gross. Also, the summoning closet. Like I just remembered that when I went into Wrath, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I remember being able to, just summon. That way you don't have to just use shards like crazy.
Summon into dungeons too, like. I gotta
remember
say,
when you used to be able to do that, but that's so OP. That's I
Well,
think
okay.
that's a little.
Well, like all I'm saying is I hope Horde gets to enjoy the benefit that Alliance have gotten to enjoy. Horde always has to use the logout skip. Alliance can warp right to the door. It's a really shitty thing for us. Like, just let both factions warp to the door. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also part of like the classic. Like, what I remember from Vanilla is that was like something that always stood out. Like that lets you know, like you have to fight your way through the elite mobs to get to the dungeon. It kind of like helped prepare you a little bit, right? It
I'm
kind of
with you.
set the tone. Like, I like that, but yeah,
I'm with
it is
you,
kind
but
of a
one
bummer.
faction has it. Like,
that is.
Like, and I'm fine. Give them a warp that warps them so they don't have to walk all the way from their town, but it warps them to an equal distance that we have to walk from our flight, our flight point.
Wait,
like that would be
where
fine.
is their nearest? I don't know where.
It warps them to the front door. Like warps them and they walk in. I'm pretty sure I'm right on this.
BFD?
Yeah.
I see them always doing the same logout skip that we're doing. Or are you saying like it logs them out, like, or logs them to?
Hold on. All right, maybe I'm wrong.
Area.
Chat correct me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Somebody did mention that there is a logout skip that I think is right above.
They have a warp somewhere. I just don't know where. They have a warp that warps them somewhere. Is it not
out? I thought
it's a camp by the beach.
Because Alliance can teleport out to Darnassus, right? But Horde can't teleport out to Thunderbluff? Or did I just not get that NPC at the end of my dungeon?
No,
raid?
they have
an
that
NPC.
Mana Storm guy, because we kill him on Horde side, right?
okay.
Like I don't know his name, but
Yeah, a little
is it
dwarf
Millhouse
guy.
Mana Storm, or I don't know, whoever it is. It's some guy that we end up killing, right?
Was somebody in chat? Give me the actual.
Any alliance in the chat?
Give me the
Yeah,
skinny.
Horde.
They're saying it's by the Naga Island. Where
Northwest?
where that one Razul quest mob spawns.
Oh,
Okay, then that's not as
not
bad
so
as I
bad.
thought it was.
It's
Then
close. It's
Okay.
just not
I
right.
I apologize. Someone told me about the warp when it happened, and I took it as fact and didn't check into it. So that is my bad, guys. My bad.
I have heard something that there is like a spot that you can do a logout skip that might be like preference towards Alliance. Just maybe I'm not sure, but I've heard that there is one that they can kind of port down, but I don't think it's as well known. I see, because always, when I'm running into BFD, there's always Alliance there too, and I've seen them doing the logout skip as well.
Same.
So some people are saying on Reddit that it's in Aberdeen, that there's
which
a
is
quest that they do that then they get like a permanent portal from Aberdeen to BFD.
Is it to BFD? Okay, we guys leave comments on the YouTube. I need multiple of them telling me so that we can. We need a lot of them to confirm that, or we're gonna have to go play Alliance.
Nah, we're not doing that.
Nope. I am getting very,
very, very after this recent DMF. I am Zug Zug, and we are gonna make you guys suffer next time a Crusader Strike. Let me tell you, assholes.
Okay, sorry. I had to vent a little bit. BAP knows all about summoning outside of the BFD entrance. I think the Alliance plan for getting honorable kills is just to stand outside the BFD entrance and kill.
It's not even the worst thing. The worst thing is, even if they're not trying to kill you, as they log back in from their skip, they'll like do a Frost Nova or something just so you don't kill them, and it stops your summon. So even if they aren't trying to kill you, you're still screwed. I mean, I always ask the group to wait back at the flight path. I'm like, guys, I can summon, but let's do it there and run in together. Never happens.
We ask everybody to do it, and everybody's just, I'm already here. I mean, I like kind of, it was what you said earlier, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm just the one that's in the, like, I seed every one of SAR's things, and I stand there for 15, 20 minutes waiting for it to start. But I'm down. We like on Bobka's raid. Well, see, the biggest problem is Bobka did the same thing. Let's meet at Zoram Strand, but it's where the PvP event is, so you can never get layers to work properly. You can never layer over. So we're on 3 different layers as a group of 10. Like, that was a big mishap, I think, on the on having the raid and the PvP thing in the same zone. I think they've already learned from that and know it was a mistake, but that's where we run into the problem. Because if we can all group up, it's fine. But yeah, BAP always gets screwed, and she goes out there like a trooper and tries to summon every week.
I try. Yeah.
We
get there eventually, just sometimes the raid starts, 25, 30 minutes late. That's how long it takes to summon 2 people.
Yeah. And those 2 people just could have been there already.
And then I finally summon them, get them in. They go, oh, can I have another summon? I left something in the mailbox. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Smiles.
Can I get water from the mage, please?
No.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of mages don't make water. Well, they don't have good
because
water.
they have shitty water. Yeah.
It's like kind of not worth. It's like really disappointing. I'm like, they have given them 25 water? Would it have been game breaking had they done that? But maybe from like a,
Get this, Dedekita.
Oh no.
At level 40, they just learned the good water. So mages will be able to make 2 at a time.
Okay, they need
better give them a rune. Give them a rune. Better give them a rune. They're gonna hate life.
Listen, they haven't had to make water this whole 25 part. Like, they can deal with it. They get to heal themselves. They
2
can
at a time, though.
With freaking making 2 water at a time. Yeah, and I want
to give you a stack. Okay? They're gonna have to use their entire mana bar.
Yeah, welcome. I have to use my entire mana bar to buff like 3 times.
Yeah,
they're gonna
right.
have to
You know how
Evo.
much water? I spend so much gold on water. Why is that? That's insane. It is absolutely insane. And even at 25, the water, it still takes like 30 seconds to get all the way to full.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, we're trying to run, and I'm like, no, like, you have 3 people buffed. Get back, like, stop pulling everything. I was like, I can't drink, you're in combat, and they're like, chain pull. I'm like, this is not it. This is not it. We need change. No hashtag Not hashtag no changes. Hashtag we need changes.
Yep.
Yeah, can we just
I was
reduce the cost of
begging for that.
buffing? Can we please
That
reduce the cost
would
of
be
buffing?
really nice,
Because
'cause
it
there's
is ridiculous. And nothing's
Yeah.
worse than when I'm running in a raid and I'm like, okay, guys, I have to refort everybody, right?
Mhm.
And then I refort everybody, and they're like, okay, we're pulling. I'm like, nope, nope.
Yeah, no,
the-
don't do that. Or they start
So-
pulling when you haven't finished. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you have to do is you have to buff the tank last, right? So you buff everybody, then you drink to full, and then you buff the tank.
Yeah.
And
Pro
then that
strat.
will try to
Yep.
eliminate some of that, right? Or whoever's doing the pull timer. Like, don't give them fort until you're full mana, and you'll do better.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the raid leader and the tank last a buff. Got it.
Hmm.
But and then the next piece of news, I mean, I don't think we really need to talk about it, but I'm going to put it in the notes for you. It's just which consumes will be available in phase 2. And it's going to be different for every class, like what you're looking for. There's a good comprehensive list here, all in one spot. We'll have it in the notes. Anybody have anything to say about that?
Just that I'm 99.9% positive they're going to add brand new consumes like they did for phase 1. So it's like, this is a nice list to have, but I'm assuming that they're going to have brand new stuff for us to use for consumes that might outweigh these consumes. But
Can we just talk about the fact that there's those supply boxes that ask for lesser mana oil, and lesser mana oil isn't in the game? Like, what are we doing here? What's happening?
Somebody didn't think on that.
But I swear lesser mana oil was in the game at 25 whenever I was playing hardcore.
Because they gave us the Black Fathom mana oil. So we don't have mana oil yet.
Oh, well, playing hardcore, I swear it was in the game.
It was, but it's not for Assad because they gave us Black Fathom. Yeah.
Somebody missed an email about the... See, because that box would have made that mana oil actually worth something.
But what is... Because lesser mana oil... I don't know what rank of... or what level of alchemy you had to have. Like, in hardcore, we didn't get capped at 150. Like, you could, move past 150. So I don't know what level of...
We've already looked, and you need level 41 to go past 225. So they're doing the same thing they did the last time. 225 is going to be the highest you can go without racials or enchants on gear.
Yeah, so even all these consumes, it's got lesser mana or lesser wizard oil listed, which wasn't released until Zul'Gurub was released. So
yeah, lesser mana oil, it says, requires level 40.
It could have been released in a different phase though. So like the lesser wizard oil, I don't even expect that to be available in phase 2 until we get to level 60 and then
what was the plus
ZG's
6?
released.
Plus 6 spell damage.
That one's not out right now either. That's like some sort of wizard oil too, yeah.
I swear
lesser mana oil
built that shit up
required...
at like level 15 on hardcore, but I could be
lesser
crazy.
mana oil required enchanting 250, and you couldn't use it until level 40. So
see, that's the later oil though. There was oil.
There's a minor wizard oil.
Mine
is the 6 or the 8 damage.
Okay, that's the
but
one
I don't
I'm
think
thinking
that
of.
was released in classic era until like phase 5 or whatever, phase 4 when ZG was released. But we're at phase 1 right now, aren't we?
Oh, so
We're
when
not
the
at, like,
hardcore
phase
servers opened up, the official hardcore servers, everything was open. So all of that
Everything was
stuff.
open, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm not crazy. Okay.
Yeah, so like
Well,
the consume list might not be accurate is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to diss Wowhead, don't get me wrong. Love what they do. But I'd take this list as a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, literally you have to take everything. BIS lists, anybody telling you that they have deep DPS tier lists. Bullshit.
Oh gosh.
I can't wait. Those are coming. You just give it a week and a half and we're going to get we're going to get 10 of them.
Phase 2 phase 2 tier list. They're in the works.
Yeah, we'll even do a
They'll come out before we even know
thumbnail
Runes.
of the show where we say it's Abyss list, but we don't even talk about Abyss list at all, just because, clickbait. No, I'm kidding. We won't do that.
Oh my God.
So that'll be in the notes. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited about consume-wise.
Sappers.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Big bada boom. Big bada boom.
No.
All right, let's move on to the last part.
Bobby, we need to have a talk about this World of Warcraft Classic. Do I look like I know what a WoW token is?
All right, guys. Whew. So this has been a huge debate. Ugren came out and tweeted, and his tweet got some traction. I think, I haven't checked it recently, but it was hundreds, and I think it's definitely over 1,000 comments, like replies to it. But I think Go's pulled it up now. But yeah, it got a lot of traction. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on the Gnomeregan. I guess part of the news is it's a 10-person raid. I guess everybody already knew that but me. I was hoping for 15 or 20, but what you gonna do? But yeah, should the raid be delayed a week or even a few days? Delayed at any period, or should we just have the raid open as soon as we go in? I've heard so many different opinions across the board. I personally would like it to be open the day of, but that's my selfish call. I think it would be exciting to watch. I play a ton. I think for the majority of the player base, I feel like it would be better to delay it to clear anxiety and different issues that like a lot of the player base might have. But what do you guys think?
There was 2.2K responses to Agron's post on Twitter.
Hot
That's a
damn.
lot of responses.
Hot damn.
I read through 2.1K. I haven't read the last 100. I'll do that while everybody else gives their take on it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, I don't know, for me, it's not a hill I'm going to die on. I don't care either way, right? I think it's probably, I would prefer them to wait just because I won't rush to 40. But I also don't care about missing the lockout, and that's just me. I know there are a lot of people that want to rush to 40. I say I don't care, and I've been doing pre-quests, but really just to do the pre-quests, just to kind of have fun with that. But I don't know. I also think it could help people that maybe don't want to rush, but know that they're going to rush, right? Like there's a lot of people that just will rush because their whole group is rushing, and maybe they would have rather done that. But I also feel like you can use your alts to kind of enjoy the journey as well. Mm-hmm. I think the big thing is that we're going to have new runes, and depending on what the importance of the new runes is, may delay you just on its own from getting to enter BFD, or at least enter Gnomeregan, or at least enter it at full power, right? So some of these people may enter it before they get all the runes, and it might take longer or do whatever. But I think there's that aspect of it too. That I think did they have BFD open from the day one?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
People went in before they even hit 25, right?
Mm.
I don't think you can zone in.
You can't zone in, I don't think.
Okay.
No.
I thought I heard somewhere that people went in there at like 23 or something just so that they could get the first lockout. But yeah, that was probably wrong.
That's my 2 cents. I don't care.
All right. Who wants to go next? Bap.
I'm the same as Mel. Like, I'm not gonna reach level cap in the first lockout or the second or probably the third. Mm-hmm. But if people want to rush to 40 and they want to do the dungeon on release day it's out, I feel like they've earned every right to. If I'm behind on gear, that's my own fault because I didn't level quick enough. And yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to see people go into the raid when they haven't had time to necessarily farm all their previs and make sure everything's in line, because their priority is just getting in and out and being that first group. That's all the fun in it, and I'm excited to watch it. So yeah, I hope it's out day one.
Danakina.
I mean, I just really enjoy the speed aspect of getting through content just to say you've done it and then going back and like perfecting it later on, right? Like I think there's something really special about like seeing your friends who enjoy that part of it so much more, or being somebody who enjoys it that much more. Like I don't think I'll personally be able to participate in the 3-day grind just because of like work. Maybe not, we'll see. But I still want that available for the people who enjoy it, right? Like just if I'm a week behind, one, reset behind, it doesn't matter to me. Like we're all going to end up on the same pretty much even playing field. Because we see it right now. Right now we have people that are running alts like as a pug, I was able to get into a group that finished in 40 minutes, right? Like trade chat pug. So like to me, it's like I don't think there's a reason to gatekeep content from those that want that extra little push. Like it doesn't hurt anybody to have it out on release.
That's where I'm at, is there's people that want it, and the people that don't want it, like, just don't do it.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
there's
like it doesn't hurt. Like I guess, yes, maybe you're a couple lockouts behind in gear, but
It does hurt for parsing. Because if you miss lockouts, you miss opportunities to have the gear, and it's easier to parse earlier on.
Like that. Yeah, but I just don't understand why. Yeah, I still don't think that should be a reason to hold everybody back, or or at least hold back the people who want and will take that opportunity to progress. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, because they don't like when they released hardcore, right? Like they released it without any phases. Like everything was available from launch, right?
That was exciting.
And that was like, I mean, I personally, that was the time of my life. Like I was like, oh my goodness, because I had played phased content prior, and while that had its merits back then, like having everything just free to go, like without those limitations in place, it was like, okay, like it's just like I like the freedom of being able to do whatever is, whatever your skill level is, right? I think that's fair.
Go.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I thought I was going to be the only one here today that was going to say release it at launch. And because I've heard the majority of comments on that Reddit thread or the Twitter thread was delay it a week. There was multiple people saying delay it 2 weeks. And I was like, 2 weeks?
Sounds like
What?
That's insane.
Yeah. So like, I thought that was the majority, that everybody wanted a 1 week delay and everybody was in agreement. And I was going to be the one that was going to stand up and say, no, release it on launch day. So I'm kind of shocked that everybody so far, maybe Bob is the one that's going to take the alternate take here, but
no, I want it for me. Like what I want is to have it out like day one.
Yeah.
That would be the most exciting for me. But as somebody trying to think about the majority of the population, I feel it can make people feel left out. And I know everybody's like, yeah, everybody gets a trophy. I know that. I'm a big proponent of that. Like, but what I'm saying is that people have to work. People have to work, and that's the thing.
I think it's important to point out that like we're all sitting here and we're agreeing that we want the content to be rolled out day one, right? But we're also all sitting here not saying that we are going to push to do that first lockout, right? Like,
I mean, I'm probably gonna.
We're not. Like, yeah,
I would if I could. I can't this time. Yeah.
Like, yeah, and I don't think that for me, it's not about is this best for me or is this not best for me? It's about the majority of the player base. You could either hold some people back that want to get sweaty and want to do it, who are going to do it, and then instead of them being out in the world finding all the runes in the first 10 hours. Maybe they're out in the world, trying to get enough gear to go into Gnomeregan and doing that. And then it gives us casual players a little bit more time to, have the discovery of where all the runes. Listen, I'm gonna wait till they come out on Wowhead anyways. I'm not about like,
that's another
Right.
thing.
myself, but
That's another thing that having it out day one makes exciting. They're going to be going in without all the runes. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Without
what's
all the
exciting. Yeah,
consumes,
while
yeah.
while some of us are going to be going out and doing that, like the rest of everybody's going to be farming the rooms and figuring it all out, and then maybe right before somebody's going to ding 40 or whatever, and they're going to be like, oh wow, you have to get this rune or something. You know what I mean? Like there's
Mhm.
going to be people that want that, because even if you level fast, doesn't mean that you want to do BFD or sorry, Nomer, right? It doesn't mean you want to raid. It just means that you want to level fast. We have tons of people within the speedrunning community that enjoy just the leveling aspect, right? So
you could also go into number 3 walkouts in a row and not get any gear.
true.
Yeah,
And then you're at the
that's
same
true.
spot
Yeah.
as somebody who did it.
Right. The first week was on their week 3. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
just don't
loot tables are nuts, guys. They're nuts too big for dropping 2 items a pop, right?
Sorry, Jordy.
The
Poor
biggest
Jordy.
thing I saw that people that wanted the week delay was that fear of missing out of the lockouts. So I think that's up to the development team if they want to somehow change it to where there's no loot the first week, but you can access the
Oh,
raid,
interesting.
That's
Weird.
or
so
you get. I know. You get something different other than loot. You get an XP boost for your first ult. You get like an item that you can send to your ult. You get a tabard. You get a title for clearing Nomer week 1 where there's no loot. Something like that. Like I think
That'd
there
be
could
kinda
be a
cool.
compromise.
or like
Or a
token
mount.
or something.
Yeah,
Or a
there
mount.
could be a compromise where it's like, okay,
Listen,
yes, you can
I don't know
access the
about
raid
that.
week
Like a
1.
shredder mount or something.
Yeah.
Listen, no,
No shredder
reward
mount.
they get, no, F that. The reward they get is they get to go into the raid week. Like, get out of here. Don't try to give them mounts and
Then
excessive
their fear of
shit.
missing out of
Like,
the mount. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
True,
right? Like,
true,
you're just
true.
increasing the, like,
All right.
the
Well,
difficulty.
how
But
about
hold on.
this?
I
Okay,
wanted
go
to say
ahead.
one thing.
All right, go ahead.
Do we know how long the lockout is? Is it going to be 3 days again, or is it a week, or like, do we
I don't
even
if
know
they've
that?
said.
We
Because I
assume
think
3 days because it's a 10-man
Assume
raid.
3, yeah.
I mean,
the one thing I did hear in one of the comments, and I don't know who said it, but somebody was saying like, just make the lockout a week instead of 3 days. If it's a 3-day lockout, like make the first lockout, like open it from day
That was
1,
what
but
I was
make the
going to bring
lockout a
up.
week,
That was
right?
Yep.
That was my comment.
So
That was
I
a
don't-
that was
I
a
don't believe
popular comment
Um,
across the board was make the first lockout all week long.
I
Yeah.
don't like that either. I think that's okay, there's
I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's horrible.
I just don't find the value of catering to people who are not like there's always going to be somebody no matter what that is going to miss out, right? Like there's always going to be somebody. So if you're just catering to a bunch of people that are in fear of missing out, they have the same opportunity as the speedrunners, right? Like you prioritize what you want to. Some people are calling off work, some people are, postponing plans with their friends and family. Like if you want to do it, you will. You'll find a way. If you don't want to, you're not going to. So like nobody's forcing anybody to do anything, but locking people out just because other people might be missing out doesn't seem fair. It just logically, like from like the standpoint that like why are you punishing people who have that availability and want
That's fair,
it like
yeah.
so badly? Like I just can't understand like why would you punish them?
We'll get this take.
Mm.
It doesn't punish sweaties, the speedrunners. If you elongate the lockout, that means the speedrunners, sweaties, are going to get to enjoy being part of the first lockout with 2 to 4 tunes.
I've heard
I
a
was just
take.
saying it benefits both, kind of.
I interviewed a homie Balance Druid back in the end of TBC. Shout out Pava Druid. And he was a speedrunner. He was like in the first, or I think he was like ranked like world second for what was the last raid of TBC? Sunwell. He was like the top, like the fastest boomkin, but like in the rank 2 of Sunwell. And his take as a speedrunner was it's harder, it's more effort if there's a week delay for the raid to launch than if it's launched on day one. Like they have to try even harder to get as many consumes as possible
Right.
in that week. Whereas if it's just launched on launch, then it's whoever can level up the fastest with whatever best comp they can come up with the least amount of gear, least amount of consumes, least runes in this case for SOD. And to me,
And I
I
feel
think
like
that's better.
that's the only time you're going to see that, right? Like the other, you're going to get to see throughout the phase, like how quickly can people with gear and consumes get through all this content, right? The only time you're going to see them go in there without any gear and just their raw skill, you know, and some gear, but is the launch. And I guess I'm on board with the fact that I just don't think it hurts anybody. I feel like even if they did make it a week, I feel like that was, for me, it was like, fine, I don't care if you do that. That would be fine with me, but I'm still probably not going to be in the first lockout. So like 3 days or a week, whatever, I'm probably still not going to get up there. And that's okay with me. I'm fine with that. I don't think that I need to.
And Blizzard they hosted a tournament in Wrath, and the tournament was the Undying for Nax. And it was everybody got one lockout of the heroics, I think. They got to do like a one heroic world tour. Whatever loot they got from that, they got to bring into Nax, like Nax 10. And it was one guild versus one guild, and I think that was amazing. Like I loved that it wasn't, they had a whole week where they had 7 days worth of lockouts of heroics where they got to get full pre-raid bis and then they got to do a Nax Undying run. Like I love that they had to struggle. They were like top guilds and they still had deaths and they still struggled through Nax, and I'd like to see that in SOD.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting topic. It really is, and I really don't have a stance. I just think that opening at the start makes like sweaty casuals have anxiety, and I know that's on them, but I just remember killing myself when TBC came out because we were going from 40-man raids to 25-man raids. And I wanted to raid with my guild, and I was scared to death that if I didn't get there fast, I wasn't going to have a spot. And maybe that was a dumb thing to think. Maybe the spot was going to be there regardless, but I don't know. I will never know because I rushed. And Mel and I hated our lives. Like, just, I was a lock just doing hellfire over and over again in dungeons at TBC. And I was just like, this sucks. This sucks.
Well, and I think that experience made me realize that I don't give two hoots who's leveling quicker than me anymore. I'm not going to put myself through that craziness ever again. Like, it wasn't worth it to me. It wasn't fun. It like it took all the joy out of leveling to me, and yeah, I'll just won't do it again.
See, and I had the exact opposite reaction because my guild, we were like, for the TBC launch, it was the same guild that we were the first on our server in Classic to kill next. We were going for the first to clear all raid content within the first lockout. And I got so excited. I took PTO from work. I had like my meal prepped. I made sure that everything was like set. Like I was hyped, and it was such a great time because the people that I was running with were also like-minded. So we ran in dungeons. I, as a warlock, yes, it was like Seed of Corruption spamming all over the place. Like, it was intense, but it was like, for me, I had enjoyed it to the max, right? And then that's why when,
maybe you had a cooler
launched,
group than me. I had a guy that just kept burping in the mic.
Oh, yeah, no, I had a really great time. And it was like funny because at that time, it was the middle of summer, right? It was like June, I think, right? And my AC went out, and I didn't call to have the AC fixed until I hit level 60.
Oh my god.
70 actually, because I was like, no, I need to focus. Like, and we did. We cleared
That's
all
hardcore
current content, yeah. And then we doing the same thing for the hardcore launch. It was just, but that's not for everybody. But I don't think that the people who enjoy it should ever be held back from it, because it's just a different way to play the same game, right? Like, it's, some people want to play more casually, and that's great. Like, I'm not telling somebody like who doesn't enjoy it, like, you got to do this, and if you don't do it, like, you know what I mean, like, you're playing it wrong, or you're, you know, a bad player or anything like that. Like, no, you're just not enjoying it the same way that I am, and there's nothing wrong with that.
True. I mean, that's what when Jordy put out him and Oldley's pre-quest guide, he's like, listen guys, I'm not telling you how to play. This is fun for us, and if you want to take part in it, we're giving you that information. But if you don't, it's cool, you know. So I do get that. I really liked the extended lockout for the very first one as an idea to bridge the gap. I really liked that. Like, and I don't see how it hurts the super sweaties, because it just means that they can get more of their tunes up and involved, you know, in the first lockout too. So I think,
but I don't even know if that would happen
worlds.
as much as they're going to focus all of their efforts on one tune to go ahead. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
speed runners probably would, and stuff like that, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Blizzard has said that Gnomer's not supposed to be a difficult raid.
Right.
So in order for the people that want any sort of challenge, that are trying to struggle at all in Gnomer as a hardcore player, it has to be released on day one so that they get there with the least amount of help as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If it's delayed a week, then there's going to be no challenge for those people that want a challenge in Gnomer.
Right. In whatever way that challenge presents itself, right? Like,
yeah.
And it's not going to be hard to get into a group if you wait 2 weeks either, right? Like, I think we've seen that with BFD. Like, I just feel like, let people play the way they want to play. Don't gate them. Don't, you know, do all of that. So I'm fine with a 1 week lockout if that's what they wanted to do. I think that would be a compromise that I wouldn't care about, but I still think the best way is just to release it and call it a day and let everybody bitch, because they're going to bitch no matter what, right? Whatever you do, they're just, people are going to bitch, and that's life.
That's what I don't know if you guys saw my tweet to Gred when it happened, but oh my gosh, I've got so many replies I can't find it.
I saw yours and Sarth, and I want to shout out Sarth. I feel for Sarth, man, because people were trying to shit on content creators, and I'm not for that. Like, that rubbed me the wrong way. Everybody replying to Sarth in a negative aspect. Sarth is an amazing dude. He wants to speed run, and taking something away from a speedrunner just feels bad. And telling him to, never mind. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna get too hot, Bob. I'm gonna start yelling at you like Josh did last week. I'm sorry.
Be nice to Sarth.
Yeah,
be nice to
Sarth.
Why would you yell at me? I didn't do anything to Sarth.
No, not you. I don't know.
God damn it, Bob.
No,
yelling
I think
in general.
He's just like expressing intense emotion because he doesn't feel like the blowback on Sarth was fair in any way, shape, or form, and it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
Because Sarth isn't. It's not coming from a bad place, right? He has so much knowledge and experience within the game that if you want to play at a higher level, then that's perfect. I don't know. It just seems silly to want people to not do that. I can't wrap my head around it, honestly.
I hate to say it, and it's just, I mean, let's just call a rock, a bean, an apple, an apple. The majority of the people that have this type of hate, they're jealous. And I get it. I am jealous of Sarth too. He's good at videos. He's good at the game. He's good at Twitter, which I suck at. He's good looking.
TikTok?
He's tall. He's like in shape.
He's so nice.
Like he's
nice.
one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Though.
Like so I am jealous of him too. I just don't choose to be mean to him because of it. But you guys do, and you should feel bad about that. That's all I got to say.
Don't be mean to people. Why is anybody being mean to anybody? I don't know.
Because
I feel like this
people are mean.
I haven't used Twitter that much, and then this was one of the first posts where it's been like a lot of comments that I've interacted with, and I was like, "Yo, what is Twitter?" This is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, why are people so mad? Like,
So yeah, the tweet that I did was just like I was talking. I replied to Sarth, was like, I get this take, but I just don't think it's the healthiest for the bulk of the player base to have it open at day one, and I don't think it is. I hadn't seen the take on extending the lockout. That's what I want. I think it's an awesome compromise, but then Josh Greenfield agreed. So at the end of it, I've said, poor Classic team. These no-win decisions are basically their life. And Josh agreed, wrote back, I use the term kobashimaru a lot in conversation in this job. That's for sure. And it's a Trekkie reference. I'm more of a Star Wars guy, but I do like Star Trek too. I just prefer Star Wars
from time to time.
I prefer the original Star Warses though. But yeah. So that's the impossible test that Kirk, James Tiberius Kirk, beat because he cheated. But it's an impossible test. You're supposed to fail, and like that's basically what they have to look into every day, because everybody in Classic has their own idea of what's best, and they just will not stop. Like it's okay that everything doesn't go your way, guys. Like everything doesn't go my way. It's okay. Like, don't get so angry.
I don't know what that's like.
Don't get so angry. I mean,
yeah,
it's don't get so angry. Like,
oh, by the way, it was Jordy's take. It was Jordy's comment about extending the lockout.
Was it?
like, was Jordy and I must be?
Was he the first one?
Because I had the same thing.
I mean, I saw it all over the place. That thing was all over the place. I don't know who commented first or later or in between, but
I'm gonna credit Jordy.
Yeah, I've said that too.
Just because I want to.
Just because, best check his Patreon. I'm telling you, man, it is worth the $5. I've been having a blast with it and just been, oh man, it's so cool to look at those quests and they're all completed. It is a bitch for quest items. Like, I finally put them in the bank because I kept opening up the thing and looking at all the completes, but then I had to put them in the bank and now only half of them say complete. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but boy, it feels good.
I made a bank tune. I need to make a second bank tune just for one main character because bag space is so limited right now. Like, it feels bad.
No, you just store in the mailbox. Go, come on.
But that costs silver, and that's then I need
That's
to farm gold.
That's where I'm going to keep my wool and silk is in the mailbox, so I can turn that in at each of the spots as I'm going.
Listen, it's so much cheaper to make another bank vault though than buy the like 10 gold bank slot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
You buy
it
like the
jumps
10
up.
silver, the 1 gold, whatever the first 2 slots are, and then you make another tune.
Well, there's no cap on how many tunes you can have, or like
there's what 10, right? 10 or 12, somewhere in there, I think. There is a cap, right?
No, not per server anymore.
Oh, okay.
Nope. You can have all of them, but I think there's still a per account character cap.
Yeah, there might be like 50 or something for the
right. I don't know the exact number, but I know it's not per
realm
thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think we covered that pretty well. Does anybody have any final thoughts on the
one more
delay or not delay?
I've always got one more thing.
Let's do it.
Excited. I'm excited for all the love we're gonna get in the YouTube comments. I think that people are really going to agree with us.
Can you feel love tonight?
We need at least 100 plus comments because I think that's what the last week's video got. So,
all right.
Yeah, if it's under 100, leave a comment. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you guys go to the YouTube.
If it's under 100, we know it was Go's fault.
True, real and true.
All right. So the last thing on this topic was, even if it's delayed a week, people are still going to be behind. So they're going to be like the people that rush to level 40. They're going to be doing Battlegrounds instead. They're going to be doing Arathi Basin.
They're going to be farming.
They're going to be getting rep for the new factions. They're going to be getting rep for the new runes that they need if there's another rune that's tied behind a rep grind. So people are still going to be behind. If they miss one lockout for Gnomer, I'm sorry. That's the
Yeah, they're gonna
reward
get.
for the people that leveled up quick.
Here's the thing: they're gonna get their like full prebis, and then you're not gonna be able to get in a raid until you've got your full prebis because
Yeah.
nobody's going into raids without full prebis, anyways. And it's
going to
like,
be a gear score requirement yet again.
But wait, what people don't realize is that the first groups to go in are usually the ones that are experiencing the bosses at whatever top level it is. So the people that are speedrunning are going to have pre-nerf, right? If there's any nerfs at all, it's going to happen after they do it first. So like,
Yeah.
and really,
There-
like, don't we all want the guides before we go in there, right? So
Thank
like,
you,
come
Mel.
on,
Thank you.
like, let's have somebody tell me what I need to do on this boss before I have to go in and fight this boss.
Mhm.
Like, come on,
Somebody gets
let's
in
not-
there
let's
in
not get
less than
crazy.
24 hours. They make a guide on how to do the raid. Anybody
Yeah.
that gets to that level 40
Give
cap
the-
after that now has a guide. Yeah.
yeah,
And if you
give
don't want to see the
content
guide,
creators the content.
don't watch the video. Don't click on the video if you don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
No one's forcing you to watch the video. Don't
They
go
are.
to YouTube.
They are because
Okay.
Bob
Stay
plays
off
it
of it. Stay off of
in my
Twitch.
house.
But do
stay
leave your
away from
angry
it.
comments in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
in
Engagement,
the
yes.
YouTube because that helps us. Thank you.
Exactly.
Okay,
All
I
right.
think we've said our piece.
All right. Well, let's. We have got to end. We've got to end this. But like Mel, do you want to? Mel or Bap, did you say you could summarize this or this little email at the end here? I think we could answer it really quick before we end out.
I think she gave the idea to summarize.
Okay.
I don't know that she.
Hey,
I
don't
can
want to put
quickly
you on the
summarize
spot.
it for you.
Yeah, Mel, will you do the honors for us?
Oh gosh. Okay. Hey, Bob and Mel and potential guests. I was wondering if you guys could help settle an argument. I'm really not entirely sure I'm in the right and would love to get your guys' opinion. So I'm in Lochmadon by the level 18-19 Trogs in the ruins and have some dwarves giving you quests outside. I was leveling my priest and I had just started my session and hadn't found a waylaid supplies yet. As I'm killing a mob, I see a chest about 30 yards ahead, and about 60 yards in front of me, I lock eyes with this rogue, who I guessed had also seen the chest. So I finished my mob off as I'm moving towards the chest, and I see the rogue finishing his mob too. The rogue pops sprint and starts running towards the chest and enters stealth. Listen, rogues suck. Like, we all know that. It's a horrible person that plays a rogue. He proceeds to sap a mob close to the chest, but not so close that you'll have to kill it to open the chest. He just had to clear the mob to pass through the narrow passage he had to move through to get to the chest, and then gets to the chest first and tries to open it. Obviously, he couldn't because he was in combat due to the sapped mob, and he goes back to kill it. Oh, that feels good. As I was now out of combat, I thought, serves you right, bitch, and go for the chest. I open it, looking for an herbalism, skinny, and waylaid supplies, as I figured I should try to complete at least one order because I had just started my session. The supplies were something else, so I had let them be, and I just going to the mana pots. He tells me in /S that I'm an asshole. I told him back, calm down, just took the mana pots. He then proceeds to /W me, and he's trying to explain to me how much of an asshole I'm being. I was super calm and didn't say anything rude back. I simply told him I thought he was entitled, saying it was his chest. He clearly had a mob between himself and the chest while I hadn't. In my book, I was more ready for the chest than he was. He was first to the chest, but only because he sprinted and went out of his way to try to joink it. He kept with me, and I was just toxically mature and nice, calling him sir, etc. I think that made him even more angry. What do you guys think? Was I being an
Toxically
asshole?
mature.
I'm usually super nice to people, and I'm not used to being called an asshole. Listen, I think the rogue's an asshole. Let's be honest. Like, first of all, chests don't have your name on them. Like, I don't care. Now, if somebody comes and like starts fishing in my fishing hole when I'm fishing it, like, now get the fuck away, right?
No,
Like, that's
I'm
not
fishing-
cool.
I'm fishing
No,
in your hole, Mel.
I was here first.
Sorry,
and I was
Bob.
fishing first. Like, get away from me. But if somebody beats me to a chest, and the fact that he beat you to the chest and then couldn't do it because he was in combat is so, like,
Yeah.
such good karma for him. Like, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we've all been in a situation like that at one time or another. And I used to be very like obviously like in hardcore it was different. I felt like for me personally, I was like somebody else probably needs that stuff more than I do, right? Like I don't know why, but like inside I'm like, dude, like there are so many opportunities. And you know how many times you get to a chest and it's just a waylaid supplies in there?
Listen, I think that's the real crime here, is opening a chest and only taking the good stuff out. Can we talk about that? Because
Can we
that's
talk
rude.
about the inventory boss though? That is like so ridiculous. Or you can't even take the waylaid supplies. That's obnoxious. You should be
Okay,
able to like
That's fair, but
something.
don't leave like just
The bread.
biscuit.
The
Don't
bread.
leave like just the biscuit in there so that it doesn't despawn and somebody else comes and gets like put the biscuit in your bag and throw it away. Okay.
I think it resets after a couple of minutes, but it is still super annoying. But I don't know, like you know how many times I've had like herbs or whatever like just like taken right under my nose. I used to be like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. No, I am so aggressive now. I'm like getting right up in there. I'm like, and the same thing with a chest. Like if you're silly enough to not know that that your ability puts you in combat, dude, that guy had what he was coming. But for him to go ahead and like get mad, like and start like that's just bad. That guy had exactly what he had that coming to him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that guy needs to find a different way to play the game because
yeah.
What about you,
I will
Bap?
say,
What does Bap have to say about this?
I don't understand where the rogue's coming from, but I know as a fresh player, when you Google online what chest etiquette or herb etiquette is, it tells you, if someone's clearing to it, you wait for them. So not in his defense,
love
but
that
all I'm
Bap
saying is
looked up chest etiquette.
You can Google chest etiquette, really?
Well, I mean, when I first started playing WoW and I was like looking up what the go is with who gets the herb or who gets the mine, what it happened to say was that whoever's there first, if you see someone clearing to it, you should like wait to see if they're taking it. Obviously, no one sticks to that, but as a new player, you might not know that no one actually follows that. But what I did have a problem with was in TBC, there were these mobs you killed, and then once you looted them, you could herb the mob for a herb, and there'd be druids there in stealth, not doing anything, but just following you. And then as soon as you looted your mob, they'd steal your herb. That
happens in SOD with the things you need for the ratchet rune. The things you get off of the shredders. Rogues and druids will sit there, wait for you to loot, and then they'll use their thing on it to pull the item off.
I think being an asshole. This is fine.
It's fine
as a
if the
druid,
other
I don't
person
condone that as a druid.
if the other person can't herb, like if the other person's not an herbalist, sure, like go ahead and herb their mobs, right? But wait a second to figure out if they are, because I'm not waiting for you. Like I'm not expecting somebody to pop out of stealth and herb my mob
or like skin. Yeah.
So I feel there's no rules here. There is no rules. Yes. So I like anytime I'm questing. Like, I hope new people don't come into my stream and think I'm serious, but I'm always joking with, like, how dare this asshole? Doesn't he know this is my quest area? Why does he keep tagging my fucking mobs? You know, and I'm joking because it's not. Like, if they get the tag first, they got the freaking tag first. Like, and I mean, yeah, it can suck if you're in different classes, but at the end of the day, like, it doesn't, like, there's no rule. So... Like, yeah, it could be a dick move. You could lose karma. Like I'll come up if someone's fighting like a mob by a mining node. I'll like walk up and I'll be like say I like lots of times I just want a tick to get a like one skill point. So I'll be like, hey, mind if I take a tick? Or are you waiting for that mine? But that's what I choose to do. Because I do feel karma pays you back, and like I've been lucky in my life, and I think that it does. But
listen,
it's like it's not required. Like it's like just because I do that doesn't mean everybody should have to do that. Like I think that if you get there first, you are smarter. Then fine. It is yours. You know, if that rogue would have vanished, he could have grabbed it.
Yeah.
Like
right.
I think it's like when we were at BlizzCon and there was 2 lines forming at the bar and everybody went and stood in line and I was like, "No, I'm gonna go to the middle of the bar that's empty and I'm gonna get a drink because that's how bars work." It's kind of like that. It's
People
like,
get mad about
was
that
I
shit
being
too.
was I being rude?
Dude, there were
Like,
so
was I
many
being
silly
rude?
people that
I
don't know
don't think
drinking at
so.
BlizzCon. They're literally standing in line. It's like, bro, you get up there, you
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
like, hey, you flash your card,
if
cash.
if
hello?
like you use whatever tools you have. If it's a
Right.
a male bartender, I send Mel. Mel, pokes out the chest, gets like talked to quicker. If it's a female, like, you might do something different. If it's a gay guy, you might do something different. I'm gonna come and be like, hi. Like you just do like strategies. I mean, why not?
Listen, they didn't know
comment
the
on their
rules.
shirt or something,
They
Yeah,
didn't know
give
the
them a
rules of how
big
bars
tip.
work.
The first time you get a drink, and boom, they're gonna look your direction first every time after that for the rest of the night.
I think what I've taken from this conversation is that next time somebody steals my chest, I'm going to link them a link to chest etiquette and just leave it at that and just walk away, right? I'm just going to be like, I don't know, you probably need this in your life more than me.
For a second, I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, I
You were
know.
just like,
Yeah.
That was great. That was great.
Quissy's shirt, nice chest or something.
Dude,
Oh God.
I bought Mel a
I
shirt
could
one
probably have
time.
cards that have chest etiquette on that too. Like my eyes are up here, please.
If
Oh
you
my
search,
gosh,
if you search my Twitter years back, we went to this comic show, and I bought Mel a shirt that just says boobies, like right on the front. It's hilarious. Oh man! All right,
I
sorry.
wear that shirt all the time. I bet
You
So
were pretty proud of it that night. You can see,
I
like,
was,
if you scroll down, you
really
can see the
young,
picture.
too.
I think etiquette might change depending on what server type you're on. If it's
Oh, yeah.
PvE, then there might be a little bit more quote unquote respect. If you see somebody going to a node, you let them have it. But a PvP realm, in my opinion, on a PvP server myself, there's no rules. Whoever
It's more frustrating when it's somebody of the same faction as you, though,
yeah, but
right?
even
Because you're like, I
still-
can't even kill you.
Yeah.
That's true. But you know what I have found is you can go ahead, like some mobs, they have the social aggro, and it happened by chance that I was negatively impacted by this, but I was put in combat from somebody running their mobs like passed through me, right? And I'm like, oh, but you can use that to your advantage too. I mean, literally, like it's all tech, right? Like you just gotta. I'm not saying I'm using it. I'm just saying it exists. Okay, I'm just saying it exists, and yeah, some people have definitely not been
Let's be
able
fair,
to.
there's
read the test.
nothing good enough in these chests to get
that's true.
angry about, right? Like that
No.
rogue person, like, come on, you need to go.
That rogue should have been
You
like,
need to eat a Snickers.
damn,
Like,
I got beat. Well,
Could there
well
be
played.
a solution?
Like I'll get irritated and I'll be like, but I'm not gonna message somebody and be like, anything
You're a
negative.
horrible
But
person.
I've literally had people be like, what the fuck, whatever. Like, and I'm just like,
I just send them. I just send them colon. I send them like the little frown face. That's all.
Could Blizzard make it to where it's an instant cast to loot the chest and it can be in combat or out of combat? So whoever technically gets to the chest first gets the chest.
Yeah, I
Or
like
is
it the way it is.
Is
I
it
like
good
the way it
vanilla
is.
friction? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's.
I
good
like it the way it is.
I think it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
fine.
But I want people to understand that on a PvP realm, there's probably no etiquette.
There's no etiquette on
If
a
you're
PvP
clearing
realm.
to something and somebody comes and takes it, it is what it is.
Mhm.
There could be a counterplay. Maybe you run with a partner, you come with somebody else, they get aggro, they get in combat, they pull the mob away from whatever you're going for, and then you get to go loot it. But the only instance where it could be complicated is if you're by yourself. But Blizzard loves people to group up to each other and interact and socialize with new people. So it's like, oh, hey, can you help me go get this chest? I want to
Listen,
loot
we weren't
this.
debating if there needs to be a rule change. We were debating who's the asshole.
Dude, okay,
The asshole is the
I
rogue.
just
Yeah,
I just
the
remembered
asshole
something.
is the rogue.
So
As long as the asshole's not the druid, I'm
No.
fine with this. Okay.
Oh.
all right, so I was on my rogue, and there was a druid there, and there's a chest, and there's a mob right by the chest, and I try to fake out the druid like I'm going in, and so he starts to go in, and I back up because I want him to get the aggro so I can grab the
like
chest,
chicken.
and
Mhm.
then we just both stop, and I'm like, I bet I can outweight this guy, and I'm just standing there, and he was like, okay, roll, question mark, and I was like, yeah. So we rolled, he won the roll, I went and took aggro of the mob, he got the chest, like, you know, but I don't think there is any rules,
Yeah.
but some
No,
people are
it's-
cool and some people aren't.
Maybe on PvE. But there's
Yeah,
a
maybe like an RP PvE
Yeah,
server, because definitely not on our RP PvP server.
there's a spot in Desolus that I've been at a couple times this past week to fish. And a lot of the fishing nodes, there's patrols where it's mobs that are level 35 plus.
Mm.
And I would get to a fishing node and I would cast my first like fish cast, whatever it's called, into the pool. And then I would aggro a mob. And then while I had a mob aggro to me, another player of the same faction would come up and throw a line in the fishing like pool. So then I would
Dirty
try to
bastard.
well, that's fine. It's fine. I would try to like wait and like take damage until I could get my like right click it to get a cast, and then I would run away, kite the mob, reset it. And while I'm running away, kiting and resetting it, I know once it resets, it's gonna aggro onto that person. So it's like I know we're gonna kind of alternate casts. So to me, that's kind of fair. It's like, okay, like I know if I wait and I reset this mob, I get the next cast. So it's like maybe I get 2 instead of 4 cast on this pool, and to me that's fine.
Find your own fishing pole.
Mel's like, fuck that. All right, well, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. You can follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. If you want to send us an email, that's WCRpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join the Discord, it's warcraftreloaded.com/Discord. Link will be in the description. How can you help the podcast? Reviews, stars on Spotify. You guys are killing it. Audio, we are more popular than we have ever been. And thank you so much for that. Help us out with the YouTube, with comments and everything. That's growing too. I never thought it would even get to the point it is now, but you guys are making it happen. Patreon is all available. All the links for that is at warcraftreloaded.com. And yeah, all right. Mel, where can we find you?
You can find me on the podcast. You can find me in the Discord. And you can find me sometimes on Bub's Twitch.
Okay,
Or
okay.
on Twitter. Maybe. Probably not.
And what about you, Bap? Are you gonna start streaming again? No?
No, that's definitely a past life. You can /whisper me on Crusader Strike, Sod Horde, BAP, and I'm online like every third day for 1 hour. So try to catch me there. Or you can message me on Discord.
There you
Or also Wrath too.
Wrath, you can catch me. I can't do NA times, but you can catch me in an hour in game for about the next 3 hours, and that won't be until next week. That's Bappy Bolts. You're all welcome.
That is my Wrath life too. And Go, where can we find you?
youtube.com/@classicgo, ClassicGho. All your balanced druid information that you're inquiring about for season
You're
of
killing
Discovery.
it. Yeah, you're killing it with those right now.
I got another video planned. It's more like a quote unquote casual video, like what new balance spells should you expect at level 40? So it's not like a crazy thing, but there's so many people playing Druid for the first time where it's like I feel like I need to go back to the basics and let people know like what's going to be available.
All right. And Dedekina, where can we find you?
You can find me at Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, in-game, Crusader Strike, Hardcore, Wrath, everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm at all the places. I do all the things, and yes, I'm everywhere.
Is your name Dedekina on all of them?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I think one of them has like a dash somewhere, but like, or an underscore, but yeah, basically if you go to my Twitch, all of my links are present. So
Yep, you even have a OnlyFans too, right?
I have a command that has that says OnlyFans. Yes, I do.
Somebody told me about that. Is the best thing. It sends you some like to like the Rickroll thing.
No, it's a Home Depot. It's the fans page at Home Depot.
Okay. Someone told me that it sends you to like a YouTube video of never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Not for me. I've seen a bunch of different ones, but mine is specific to Home Depot, and it's great because in some countries there's like something that says like that blocks it. So I'm like, oh, maybe that content just isn't available in your country, and they're like. It's always good. It's a good time.
Someone just recently told me that, and it came like I just remembered it. I meant to check it to like see what yours did, but that's great. That's great.
That's a good time.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can find me on Twitch and this show live at twitch.tv/BlazinBob. Let's get out of here, guys.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you very much for checking out Warcraft Reloaded podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content.